Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening on this wonderful, wonderful Friday evening. And what a star-studded panel we have for you tonight to talk all things Spurs, the last week Spurs. You can go back as far as you want, panel. But, you know, the last week Spurs, maybe. Good evening to Stel. Good evening to you, Stel. Hope you're well. Good evening to Kuva and good evening to Nige. Hope you're all well. It's great to see you all here with us tonight. Just really pleased to see you. Let's see how everyone is. Stel, how are you, mate?
Yeah, great. Sitting here eating Cypriot walnuts. And do you know what? It's great to be on a stream with you guys and Kuva, because I remember back in the day streaming with Kuva when Spurs were shit. Hold on a minute. Yeah, we're still shit. So, yeah, great to be back.
There we go.
It's likewise. It doesn't change a lot. I'll tell you one thing. I was thinking about this the other day. When the whole relegation thing started happening and people saying, oh, you don't really want relegation, do you? And I'm thinking, a couple of years ago, I remember being on Tottenham away, talking to Stel and Iggy about this very thing. What if that's what's needed? Now it's suddenly started getting a little bit more popular because I think people have sunk down to the level I've been feeling for the last couple of years, where there's no point trying anything now. The only thing, never mind, you're sort of getting into it now, isn't it? I'll shut up for a moment and you can carry on with the intro and then I'll carry on.
No, you're good, mate. You could talk as much as you want, mate. I love listening to you. Nige, how the devil are you? You all well?
Good, yeah. It's Friday night, so yeah, a couple of drinks and a bag of bacon crisps, so all good.
Nice.
There you go. Bacon crisps for Nige. I've just had roast potatoes. Say no more. Not too many. I'll have you know, people. I'll have you know. And just join us. He's Joey. How are you, Joe? All right, mate?
Oh, well, I'm glad it's Friday night. I can tell you that much. Jesus wept.
Good to be on stream with you, Joey.
Yeah, you took over after our chat earlier, yeah.
There you go. See? So everyone's acquainted. Well, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to just have a chat about, I don't know, all things Spurs from, let's say, last Friday, maybe, Friday, Saturday. Leading up to the what was supposed to be a protest, but never turned out that way, and ended up into a gathering to support the players on the way into the ground. So I'll tell you what. First of all, I don't like picking out whoever wants to go. Mark's coming. Hang on, the finger.
Just say a few hellos.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, if you want to do that, mate. Go on.
Yeah, better, I suppose. Who's in here? We have Spurs. Big up.
Big up, man.
Biker, yeah, big up, mate.
Big up, Biker. Guys,
Why?
Guy, you're all right, mate?
Do you know, when I set the shop, I didn't realise England were playing.
See?
It completely didn't even cross my mind.
Does anyone watch England, by the way?
I've got something to say about that later.
I gave up ages ago watching England. But
yeah, me and all. When Sven got the job, I was done.
Well, I think about 1996 is about the last time I bothered watching.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'm like, with England, I'm not, well, it's obviously Tottenham, but it's which one has let you down the most? It's obviously Tottenham because they play a bit more.
Toss a coin, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Logan, big up.
Big up, Logan. Evening to you, mate.
Evening, mate. Zorba's in.
Zorba the Greek.
Zorba the Geek. Ah, I didn't know how to read that out. Another big up.
Mr. Simps.
Just flip
Positivity. It's positivity. Mr. Simps is all about, by the way, everyone.
Pete, big up.
Big up, Pete. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well.
Saying hello to everybody. Mario, big up.
Marios is in.
Lee Stay Firm. Marianne, big up.
Evening,
YouTube
Marianne.
memberships and
All the
super
usuals
chats
are
are
in.
available.
All the usuals are in.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Queen's in, stand up, salute, play the national anthem.
And all that.
Sporting Journey, big up, mate.
Stuart in.
See if I missed anybody out. Jane.
Yeah, Jane's in. Dash is in.
Dash is in. Big up.
Drewler's in.
Oh, Drewler. I'm just scrolling down, mate.
Sensible Centre's in.
Sensible Centre.
Daryl. We just go through them. You see, the trouble is, you chat so long nowadays, Mark.
Yeah,
you'll never get to the bottom, mate. You'll be
well.
There's about 30 messages in there before we start.
I'm not questioning what goes on the brunch, mate.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know what I'm saying. Big up, Swifty.
This is better than talking about Tottenham.
It is.
Well,
that's why I'm dragging it out a bit.
Big up to this entry. Good up to you.
Ghosted.
Big up, Ghosted.
Paul Brown, YouTube member.
There we go.
David Clark. Big up.
Scott M. Mark.
Oh, I ain't got it. Oh, yeah. Mark. Part of the Mark Army.
Yeah. John.
Is it? I ain't John. Yeah. John, big up.
Spurs underneath.
Yeah, Spurs syndrome.
That's it. And the one at the bottom, Tim Man at the bottom.
Oh, Tim Man. Yeah. Big up, Tim Man.
And Dino right at the bottom.
Oh, and Dino right at the bottom.
There you go. You go. We've had a go at saying hello to everyone. There you go. Stell's link will be posted throughout the evening because, as we know, the Sporting Journey does like to stick it in there. There you go. And Nigel's is in there as well. So there you go. Happy days. Big up to you, Sporting Journey. Right. Are we ready? Are we ready now, Mark? Can I start?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Right. So let's talk about what should have been a protest but turned out into a gathering that was meant to inspire the players onto victory. Okay? I'm not about all this. It's not a free-for-all, but whoever wants to go first, crack on. No one does.
Go on, Stel. You know you wanna.
No, what? Stel's hanging on. I know Stel's building up. Well,
from my point of view, fair play to anybody that thinks they're actually doing something to help the team. I'm all for that. I don't agree with what they did, but the intentions are right, so I can't really criticize somebody for that. But that's not what's needed right now. I mean, if it's some kind of self-proving the whole event was, because when you get that much positivity, that much gathering, all the crowd roaring the team on, and they still put in a performance like that, then what is the point? It proves that the fans are irrelevant when it comes to the team performances. Utterly irrelevant. It doesn't matter how positive you are or negative you are. They are just going to churn out the same crap week in, week out. It doesn't matter. This, for me, is a bigger issue than just the fan turnout, just the attitude towards protesting. You look at it with the management appointments. It doesn't matter. There's no new manager banks either. Nothing. It's free fall, utter free fall. And until we start actually all united getting at the bloody ownership, what's the point in any of this? You can be as positive as you like, and I mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that's going to hurt is when the ownership is when they start losing money or they get such incredibly bad publicity from the crowd going hostile at them constantly, it's going to affect little chats with sponsors they have who are saying, what the hell's going on here? It could affect deals. It's going to make them very uncomfortable in the social media as well as mainstream media. But this at the moment is token gestures. It's good wishes when you need emergency action. For me, it's pointless.
There you go.
I quite agree. Right. I just got to apologise to Dr. Tottenham Therapy. I forgot to give him a shout out. I do apologise, mate. But you have your reward now.
I think it's been more divisive for the fan base than anything I've seen recently, apart from Enoch, obviously. I think football for me back in the day, and we're all of a similar age, was all about camaraderie. You know, people that you didn't know, you had a laugh with them, you sang songs with them. It was a joyous occasion, and you did that in the hopes that your team are going to win and to try and improve their performances on the pitch, etc., etc. Now, supporting Tottenham isn't fun for me anymore. I don't know if it's because I've had a shit week at work or what, but it's bringing me down. And that's, to me, is not what I support Spurs for. And I think the fan base was already divided. You know, we know that because people who protested, Stell, Daigle, all of that lot were slagged off to the hilt for years. The Change for Tottenham protests got small numbers. Now this celebrate the players thing has just divided the fans even more. And it's just, everything Tottenham is just shit at the minute, whether it's the board, the players, the fans, the media outlet shit that they're peddling day in, day out for clicks. It's just depressing. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite agree.
Well put, Joe. Well put. Fair play. Nige, how are you feeling about
Listen, it's hard to disagree with what anybody's said at the moment. Listen, in all fairness, great, 10, 15,000, whatever, turned up to clap an empty bus, which is fantastic. I'm more concerned about the fact that they're saying they're going to do it again for the next home game and then again for the next home game. Hasn't worked. Let's not do it again. It's, you know what, we've all spoke about it, and Cookie, I've heard you talk about it. It's so disappointing that you can get that many to cheer an empty bus, but you can't get those sorts of fans for a protest. It's listen, it's disappointing, but it is what it is, right? And as usual, the Tottenham fan base is at each other's throats, and we go on. I don't know. It is what it is. Listen, it was nice to see, but it literally nothing happened from it. So for me, there's no point in doing it again.
No, I was going to say there isn't. I mean, it was meant to be. This is the cup final. This is 1991 over again. We're going to beat them. We'll be safe after we beat them. All that 20,000, whatever turned up there. I've not seen a real figure, but I did sort of see 20,000 mentioned. And we did the watch along, didn't we, Nudge? And they put in a performance like that. The next one, they all look to boo them.
Do you know what's more disappointing? Do you know what's more disappointing, Sheriff, is that Change for Tottenham, as much as, they did get a few good numbers at a few protests, and then the last couple, they got poor numbers, and it kind of feels like they've given up. You didn't see Stell give up when, there was 20, 30 people there. You didn't see Brian Daigle give up. They still banged the drum, Change for Tottenham just feels like, it didn't work. All right, we'll just go over to the, and we'll start clapping now. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me.
Well, that hasn't worked. It's obvious, like the cheering and come on, you Spurs and all that hasn't worked. Shout abuse at them. Just sing your shit and you are as they're coming down the high road in the bus. Something like that. And see if that gets a reaction out of them. Because obviously cheering and clapping don't work.
Still?
Where do you want me to start? Enoch, the fans, the YouTubers, the parade. Where do you want me to start? There's loads.
You start whatever order you want to go in.
Parade, mate, first. That's what we were doing there.
There you go.
Okay.
The gathering.
The gathering, yeah.
Right. So my uncle and 3 other people that I sit next to, my uncle sits further back. None of them come to any protests. None of them have wanted to take action against the board. And my brother hasn't come to a protest either. He hasn't got a ticket. He hasn't got a season ticket. None of them have come to any protest. And every single one of them said to me, what the fuck was that parade about? So unlike me, who's protest, they don't, right? They don't protest and they're calling out the bus parade. So when you've got fans like that calling out the bus parade, you've got to ask questions. What are we doing with this gathering? What are we trying to achieve here? And these are the facts. Fans tried something different. It catastrophically failed because the players got battered 3-0 by a team that struggled to score goals for the last 2 months. So clearly the players don't need motivating from the fans. The players don't buy into the fans trying to cheer them on. The players probably felt under more pressure. The fans were there saying, come on, we can do it. Don't do it again. Don't repeat something that backfired so spectacularly. We're not Albert Einstein trying to come up with a formula on relativity or on gravity or on electricity. Right? We're not trying to solve this scientific problem where you keep going until you find the formula. It was a disaster, guys. How can you have 20,000 fans on a high street, smoke, flares, flags, banners, we believe in you, and you get battered? That second half was a capitulation like every other game this season. That parade meant nothing. All I'll say is this. You tried it. It didn't work. Please don't do it again. Let's not go down this road of continually trying something that didn't work. If 20,000 fans went to a protest and those numbers couldn't begin to force change at the club, I'd say, right, let's stop protesting because 20,000 of us actually turned up and it didn't work. But we can't get those numbers at a protest. 20,000 fans tried this. It didn't work. I just don't want to see it again because I don't understand the point of it. If anything, it's going to do us harm because when it did backfire, we got laughed at in the media. We got laughed at from rival fans. We got laughed at within our own club. And I don't see the good that came out of it other than fans just feeling good on the high road for a couple of hours. Hey, we love it. Tottenham, hey, great. But you all walked out the stadium. You were booing the fans at the end, show up, sing up, stay up. Well, you walked out, innit? Show up, sing up, walk out. Together, always, forever. Well, you're not all together because you walked out the stadium. The stadium was empty at 3-0, and those that did stay booed the players. So I just contradictions, the mixed messaging, not following the messaging, and then just the losing, the result. I don't want to see it again personally because I don't see the good that comes out of this. All I see is actually there's a lot more negatives that have come off the back of this. That's my take.
Agreed.
Yeah, fair play. Mark, what do you think about it? The fall, your fall from start to finish. Are you of a thing that it should just never have took place in the first place, or we've tried it now, that's it, and we have to move on? Where are you with it?
I get the meaning behind it. I really do, because we're in dire straits. I do get the meaning, but surely someone's clever enough to realise that if we lose the game, we're just going to be another meme. And Paddy Power are going to bring another advert out about us. And because that's all we are now. We're the laughing stock. We're memed all over the place. Paddy Power have brought several adverts out that I've seen. We're just a joke. I mean, all right, they could have put the message out like they did, the one you read out, Stel, Together Always or whatever it was. They could have put that out there, right? But not a bus parade, mate. Bus parades for when you win stuff. It's not for like when you're fighting relegation because of the owners and all that. No.
The thing is, Cookie, they did it because they saw that the Everton fans did it when they were in a relegation crisis. But the Everton fans are a different breed because the Everton fans, they protest in massive numbers.
Yeah.
They're a different breed of fan to us, right? So if you're going to copy Everton fans, copy everything they do, not cherry pick the bits that you like for the cameras. And that's the reality. Yeah. And that's what we did. And I've got to say, right, I'm massively disappointed with change for Tottenham, and I'm not going to be supportive of them going forward. Not because I dislike the people that run it. There's some good people there, Connability, they're good people, but they sold out as far as I'm concerned. They care more about what Shelfside, Spurs, Song Sheets, Trust, all these groups think than what they stand for. Forget what they think. None of them come to your protests. None of them back you. Right, you've teamed up with people that don't support you. So it says what it says to me is what change for Tottenham has become now is a group that would rather be friends with the popular people on X and popular people than stay true to what we stand up for. People can call the likes of me, Brian Daigle, and all the other protesters idiots, toxic, divisive. Call us what you want. We stayed true to what we believed in. We never budged, and I really thought when we got 2,000 people on the high street, change for Tottenham onto something here. Do you know what? Fair play. But that bit of celebrity status they got, it's now manifested into, we can be friends with everyone and we can be on the YouTube channel. No, you're sold out, man. And I think they've got it massively wrong. And you know what? If they do hold a protest, let's say we go down end of the season, right? Last game of the season against Everton, we're going to hold a protest, change for Tottenham. It's too fucking late. You're relegated, mate. Protest for what? The damage is done. And who's going to turn up to that? Song Sheets? They're not going to come. Shelfside Spurs? They're not going to come. The Trust don't protest. The guy that plays the guitar, he's not going to come. Who's going to come? None of the people that you collaborated with are going to come. So listen, I don't want to get angry because it's not, there's nothing right in getting angry. But I feel really strongly about this because they should have been ENIC out. It should have been ENIC out. Change this, change it. No, you want the frickin' owners gone, mate. That's your message.
Protests are supposed to be confrontational. They're supposed to be about people being angry, people demanding change, not politely asking for it. It's supposed to turn nasty. It's supposed to get people taking action because they're scared of the consequences. All we've done is pussyfoot about with it. For me, the fact that you can't get the whole fan base behind a slogan so mind-numbingly simplistic, it was beautiful in just ENIC out. You know exactly what you're asking there. You're saying they're not good enough. We cannot possibly be any more unhappy with you. Instead, change for Tottenham. For me, that sounds like having a charity whip round for some loose change down the back of the sofa. I don't see it.
To pay a new manager.
Everything. It's like, oh, do you mind doing something different? If that's okay with you, please, sir. It loses any sort of strength it had. The fact we can't even get united behind a really simple slogan, for me, was already massive alarm bells going off. But as Stel said, they did at least try something. And when you get a couple of thousand people on the streets, maybe you could somehow get something going. But no, it just didn't happen, did it? It's a case of being too nice. And I think you're right, Stel, when you say about you can't compare us to Everton fans. It is an entirely different fan base now. I no longer think there's any point even trying protests, personally. I just don't think it's going to work. It'll be a flat no. You won't get a united front. It's Monty Python, isn't it? Life of Brian, People's Popular Front of Judea. No. Bloody Popular People's Front. Going to argue about this sort of stuff. There's just total division all the time. Joey Barton's saying it as well there, but never seen the fan base quite as divided as it is now on issues. And the big issue at the moment has got to be the ownership. It can't be anything else. Fan support obviously doesn't matter. Changing managers doesn't matter. The new way of doing things at the start of the season for the 15th, 16th bloody time in ENIC's tenure of this club still does nothing. We go through not just managers, but you look at sporting directors or director of football. You go through your Baldinis, your Mitchells, your Paraticis, your Lang, God knows who else. It doesn't matter. The overall thing is still the same problem. We have an ownership that demands a strategy of getting young players in to sell with the point of having a profit made on them, and then bargains when it comes to the top so-called marquee signings or established pros. You can look at it with, for me, nothing sums it up better than Kudus at the moment. Kudus 2 years ago would have been a fantastic signing for this club. But when did we buy him? We bought him the season after he had really dipped in form for the entire season. West Ham fans were saying he isn't the same player anymore. They weren't that bothered about losing him. Prime time for our strategy to snap him up. And he hasn't exactly pulled the trees up, has he? He's shown a few flashy touches, but not really done a lot. And that's just going to continue with this club until we have an actual rebuild. And I mean, we're talking that what the subject we wanted to get onto in the first place, as far as I'm concerned, which is getting relegated and force the issue where the club can't throw a few million fixing a problem in the short term again and hope to blag their way through and pretend everything's rosy. We need to build a football club, and it's not a rebuild, it's a build. We haven't had one for quite some time now. We've had little fluke periods with the Pochettinos, the Redknaps, even Martin Yole, bringing us a bit of good football back, bringing us close to success without quite getting there in most cases. But right now, we've got nothing. We don't even have a player I would be prepared to pay money to watch. That's the first time since I've supported Spurs it's been like that. We even had a relegation team with Glenn Hoddle in it. He's bloody brilliant. Right now, I couldn't give a stuff if I miss a match. I don't bother watching most matches. It's crap. It doesn't interest me. I've lost my love for it all. I don't recognise this as the club I grew up supporting. So I don't give a monkeys about getting relegated. I don't care what it takes. I want my club back. Either the owners get out or they are got to be forced to fundamentally change what they think it takes to run a football club and what the goal is. Because as far as the goal is, for the majority of fans, it's have a football team and have a football team that is there to try and win things. And with our club, win things in style. It's ingrained in our history. It's what I grew up on. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that way. The great Danny Blanchflower quotes about the club. It's not just about winning. It's great fallacy. It's not just about winning. You've got to win with style. You can't wait for the opposition to die of boredom. You've got to take the game to them. Do things with a flourish. That's what Spurs has always been about. We have lost that so much. And then we hear crap about the DNA of this club by the very people that destroyed it. It's disgusting. I'm beyond looking at little short-term fixes. I'm beyond looking at little appointments, clever director of football appointment. Oh, if we get this manager in, it's all going to be different. Oh, we're going to have another war chest if we stay up. Yeah, what? Like the last one that we didn't even spend. The last one that we spent on what? Absolute crap again. And then saved the third of it, or was it half of it? It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. It's lies all the time. And the trouble is, I can't even blame fans for buying into it, because there's that word hope, isn't there? If you're still clinging onto that, you're hoping it's actually going to change. I'm at the point now, I don't believe a goddamn thing that says this club comes out with. Nothing. I don't listen to any fan trying to convince me that the club's going to change in any way by staying in the Premiership. We are the new Everton. It's been said before by other people. Well, some good articles on it as well. We are now that bottom of the league, bottom of the table kind of team, struggling to stay in the bloody division. For a club that's regularly in the top 10 richest clubs in the whole of the world, that is beyond shameful. That is
Disgusting.
so disgraceful. It's almost a disgrace on the sport itself. And yet we've still got so many people happy to see these businessmen running a football club. They have proved now they cannot do it. It's wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, until we're relegated and the issue is forced on them and they haven't got the money to spend anymore, then they're going to have to start looking at the youth team, thinking, we better start getting some of these coming into the first team, show them there is a path into it. This is a long-term thing. This is going to take years to develop. We're going to have to look at proper signings that fit what is needed rather than speculative ones that we think we can make a few quid off. Going to have to build that, going to have to get in place. And as far as I'm concerned, the most critical one of the lot, the board needs to have a panel of ex-players on it that understand the club and understand football. And the footballing decisions must go through them, all appointments. Anything else, anything to do with directors or chairman, it's to sign checks. That's it. Stay on your business side of things. Do not keep ruining this club. They've got a massive warning right at the moment, and I don't think it's going to matter. If we stay up, nothing changes because they've got no incentive to do it. They would have got away with murder yet again. So for me, get relegated, take the hit. It's going to be painful as hell. I don't like the idea, but I see it as the only way now. And if it takes us 5 years to actually put that new structure in place, so be it. I'd even take us going down to League One if it meant finally changing things. The bonus on that could be that ENIC finally lose a taste for it, realise they can't get themselves out of this decline, and they're forced to sell up on the cheap. All the best poker players in the world do know when to fold. It will come like that with ownerships. If they keep continuing to lose money and they can no longer achieve their objectives, there will come a point where they just think, you know what, I'm just going to get out of this now. Right now, the change only happens because a billionaire ownership is only going to take notice when you wipe billions off their value. And that's what relegation will do. There will be shock waves go through that club. It'll be like an earthquake bloody hitting in the center of it, because the owners are going to have to do something at that point. We are already at crisis point. There's no point saying, "Oh, just wait and it'll be better." It won't. All we're doing at the moment, if we stay up, is kicking the can along the road, as far as I see. Maybe we fluke a season or two where a couple of players come out, do well out of it. But what will happen is we'll sell them on again, and then we'll replace them with absolute tat yet again, and back to square one. I'm sick to death of it, and I'm sick to death of listening to people that say it's going to be different this year. No, it isn't.
Wow.
I'm standing up clapping.
I don't know what to
Or we could cheer
Cooper
a
just smashed it. Listen, Cooper just smashed it out of the park. You can shut the stream now. There's nothing else left for any of us to say. He's nailed it. He's absolutely nailed it. I want to add one thing on top of what Cooper said, okay? Pochettino sat there and told us, nice house, need new furniture. He said, painful rebuild. You need to go for a painful rebuild. We never did it, right? We never did it. If we stay in the Premier League, there is no painful rebuild. It's a repetition of the same. Relegation, that is a painful rebuild, which is what should have happened the right way. Staying in the Premier League, and spending the 800 million we spent on Ange, Conte, Jose Nuno, all these different managers and all these different football directors and all these different projects, plans and whatever we were sold, it should have been done with Poch. That's the way we should have done it. That's how Arsenal did it. That's how Liverpool did it. That's how any competent club does it. You do it whilst in the Premier League. We fucked that. We fucked that. Because none of them rebuilt from a relegation position. None of them rebuilt from back-to-back years of finishing 17th. They rebuilt because they finished 8th. They finished 10th and they said, shit, this can't happen. We're not mid-table. We're fucking relegation, right? The painful rebuild is in the Championship because the players will go, the board will have to restructure, the finances will have to be restructured, the model of scouting will have to change. They're going to have to embrace academy players because it's cheaper. They're going to have to stick with the manager because you can't afford to sack managers anymore. They're going to have to be very competent with how they spend the money because you can't afford to waste 50 million on Richarlison's, 50 million on Solanke's. Unfortunately, the right way to do the painful rebuild is what Poch told us. We didn't want to do it. So the painful rebuild now, sadly, is relegation because it forces it to happen. We haven't been through the painful rebuild yet, guys. The Championship is that painful rebuild. And that's where I'm at with it. Poch was right. We didn't listen to him. No one listened to him. Fine. Then we do it the hard way. In the Championship where it's forced on you. You haven't got a choice because the whole thing's going to get gutted out any which way you like it.
The other thing, just to add on top as well, is relegation also breaks that arrogance that this board have, that they think they can come on from a business background and know what it takes to make a successful football team, because clearly they do not.
Yeah. Nigel or Joey, want to add anything to that?
Well, do you know what? Isn't it sad? Now, Kuva, I don't know you personally. I know you're a Spurs fan. I've seen you in and out streams and stuff, and we've chatted. Isn't it sad that someone with the passion that Kuva clearly has to come on YouTube to express that? That's the state of the club today. And that in itself is just disgusting. And I can't, every time I do these things, I hate ENIC so much I can't even express it in words.
Spot on.
It's just come to a point, isn't it, then, where all of us are almost resigned to the fact that we're going to be playing Championship football next season. And it's not even a big deal anymore. It's for me, I'm already looking at the positive. Listen, I don't want us to go down. Of course I don't. But why does everyone think like Premier League football is all or nothing? You know, there are plenty of Championship fans. There are plenty of League One, League Two, non-league fans who have the time of their life with their club they support. You know, we're not going to stop loving Spurs if we go down. As I said, do I want us to go down? No, of course I don't. But, you know, the more the weeks go on, the more I think, you know what, whatever happens, happens. Something needs to change. I don't know what. Like I say, the more the weeks go on, the more I think if we stay in the Premier League, nothing changes. Again, that doesn't mean I want us to go down. I'm just not sure now what is going to change unless we go down. And listen, no VAR next season. That's a bonus straight away. So I don't know. It's a difficult one, but
I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll bring in De Zerbi, who plays nice football. The fans will be like, yay, this is more like it. Then De Zerbi will realise he's not going to get backed. He'll get into a full-blown bust-up with the board. He'll be Conte on steroids. He'll be gone in 18 months. They'll be sitting there going, what went wrong? What happened? ENIC out. We need to protest. Why have we signed this guy? He doesn't suit the De Zerbi system. Why are the academy players on loan? Mate, we'll just be having the same conversation repackaged. That's what will happen. That's even if Poch comes in, they're going to back him. They're going to listen to him, are they? I don't know.
18 months, 18 months, you're bloody optimistic. De Zerbi comes in at the start of the summer. He could be gone by the end of it.
He's here for August.
Yeah.
What a mess. What a
Yeah,
mess.
it is. It is. Now, like, I don't want us to get relegated, obviously, being a Spurs fan, but like, I cannot see us fighting our way out of it. We got no fighters on the pitch. Like, there's no one in Spurs teams in the past, as Cooves said at the beginning of his speech, we got relegated with Glenn Hoddle in the team. That is one player that, well, he's the king. He's the king of White Hart Lane. He's the best player I've seen play for us. But, like, there's not one player in that team. If I was to buy a Tottenham shirt, I don't. I get them. Well, I do, but I get them in China. I can't think of one player I'd have on the back of it these days. Not one. Not one. There's no one in it. Oh, I've got to get his name on the back. You know, there's none of it. Absolutely none of it anymore. And as a Spurs fan, Enoch deserved relegation 1,000,000% because of the way they've run the club. The lackadaisical, not really caring, know nothing about football. Think they throw money. I mean, they built £1 billion stadium and we've gone backwards. You know, double the attendance, more or less. Certainly 1 3/4 what the old White Hart Lane had. All this extra income, where's it got us? Going backwards, buying kids. Like Coof said, selling them on for a profit. You know, buying for 20 million, selling them on for 80.
Everton have got their new stadium to get themselves out of trouble. It's like we got ours to put ourselves into it.
Yeah. What's that stadium been open now? 7 years? 2019 when it opened?
But they didn't build that stadium for football. They didn't.
No, it's an entertainment venue.
They built it for everything, and football's incidental.
Yeah. All Tottenham are now, it's an entertainment venue, and every 2 weeks when we're home, a game of football breaks out. That's all they're just interested in the Wonga. That's all they're interested in. You know, but let's see how much Wonga they got when we get relegated, and it will serve them right. It will serve them right. We don't deserve this. They do.
Mark, I'd love us to stay in the Premier League and have a plan and a proper football director and a chairman that cares, and to have players that we buy that is really smart scouting and the money to be spent wisely, to be run like Brighton, something like that, but on our level, the level we can achieve, and see our youngsters given a chance instead of Odeberts and Tells. But the reality is, they're saying that Lange is going to stay and they want a dual football director model. We all know that's a catastrophe waiting to happen, right? They're already selling to us. We want to bring in Ruhel, a random. He's going to work with Lange, who we know is a disaster. They're going to be the multi. We know it doesn't work. That's why no other club does it. So we already know next season's going to be a shit show if we stay up. And look, the way I feel is this. If we go down, there's no guarantees we come back straight away. It might take 2-3 years. We will come back. We will, because we're a different animal to any other team down there. But you tell me another way that this club's going to properly hit that. The fans aren't going to do it. The fans aren't going to demand it. The fans aren't going to demonstrate boycott protests for it. So what incentive is to the owners to do it? They're comfortable in the Premier League. They've got it easy. Come to work, get £2 million a year. As long as Spurs get Europe once in a while, the fans are happy. Give them the illusion of a project. If they're not happy, we'll just change the manager. You know, we'll just change manager. They'll be happy again. They'll get on board with that. How is it ever going to change with this ownership if the fans don't want to fight for it? If someone can tell me another way, then I'll say, right, I'll stop the whole delegation shit. I'll stop this delegation squad. Yeah. But no one's told me another way. All I hear is, but what happens if we sign top players? And what happens if De Zerbi comes in? And what happens? And I say to them, what, with Vinay here and Lange still here? In what world do you think this is going to happen? There's no evidence to say they're going to do that, ever.
Still, do you remember what Lange said a little while back about managerial appointments? when he
I can't
basically
remember.
said that what they want to do is have a level of stability and a way of playing, style of playing football at the club that's consistent, and it makes managerial appointments easier to make. Since then, we've gone Big Ange to Frank to Tudor, which told me one of three things. Either Lange doesn't understand the words he says, which I don't believe. Two, that he's blatantly lying and putting it on record. I find that one is a bit hard to believe as well. He would have done more creative language. Or the third one, which is his vision is not the same as the other people at the club. So they can't even agree on their way forward. It's absolutely hopeless at the moment. And this indecision has got to be coming from the very top, because anybody else that owns a billionaire company and wants their business to be run properly will put in somebody that oversees it all and has a clue on how to do it. And everybody else will have to follow their vision. We don't even have that. All we've got is, yeah.
This football director came out at the end of January and said there was no one available that we could bring in that was better that could better the team. Now that alone, he should have been shown the door and never allowed back through it. That alone. But to compound the absolute farce of that comment, he and Vinay are then overruled by the people who employed them that they must remove Frank, even though you want to keep them and we've employed you to make those decisions. So they're completely undermined and their roles are completely compromised. But yet, we keep them in their roles. Mate, nothing's changing. Just those two things alone for me said, what the fuck is this club doing? Like, the optics on this. You've got a football director that's telling us we can't find better. Well, isn't it your job to find better? And then you've got an ownership that's saying, these two we've employed, they don't know what they're doing, so we're going to make the decision for them, but we're going to keep them in their roles.
It's like getting a chartered accountant to play a game of Football Manager. They might understand the numbers and the spreadsheets part of it, but they don't understand anything else.
Kuvra, nothing makes any... There's no common sense in this. There's not even basic common sense. Like tying... We can't tie our shoelaces, guys. We can't even tie our shoelaces. And we're talking about running. We want to run when we can't even tie a shoelace.
We bought ice skates.
Yeah, that's right.
One ice skate, I should say.
We're Torville and Deaning along, as they say, back in the day. Was that 1980s, wasn't it? Torville and Dean,
Yeah.
Cooper, wasn't it? Back there, somewhere like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, should we move away from Enoch a little bit? Because we've had 50 minutes on it. I'm sure whatever we talk about, it will go back that way as well.
To be fair, Cookie, the thumbnail for your show tonight has got a big outside in the middle.
It has. It has. Yeah, we're using regular still. You know, we're just making sure we let everyone know that we are Enoch out on this channel.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it.
You know, so there you go. Anyway, we shall continue. Now, do you want to talk about the game next at all? Does anyone want to talk about the game as crap as it was? I was in there and saw it for myself. So I wasn't, just by the way, I wasn't an happy bunny at all. The second goal went in and I was sat in the south stand and I put my head in my hands for about 30 seconds because I knew we're in big trouble now. It's like big trouble. As far as
I can finish my bit really quickly for you, Cookie.
Go on.
I don't give a shit, mate.
All right, mate.
I want to watch Spurs, not this.
That's fair enough. I think we all feel that way, Coof. on here anyway, at least. Do you know what I mean? Because it is what they're dishing up and have been dishing up for a long time now. It has been like, it's just been derisory, isn't it? It's just, you know, what they're dishing up on the pitch, what they're giving you from above, you know, certain people saying in the club what you can spend and what you can't, you know, that are just finance people that are on the board, and they're just like money men and women, you know, whoever's there. But I can't disagree with what anyone said. Nothing's going to change.
Like I said earlier, Cookie, right now we have a team where I would not pay to watch a single one of those players. Absolutely none of them. Maybe Madders when he's fit. He's got a little bit of something about him, but he's not been fit for a long time. But right now it's pathetic. I respect my time more. I'll go and play video games with the kids. I don't watch matches anymore. It's meaningless. I don't care. I'll just see at the end of the season if we got relegated. If not, I know it's going to be the same again. If we do, that'll be interesting to me because maybe something finally happens.
Sheriff,
Yeah.
we did the watch along, didn't we, last week? And
Yeah.
I don't understand how so many of the fans were like, "Oh, we played really well first half." I was like, for most of it, we had 11 men behind the ball. So in that first quarter of an hour, we were like sitting back, and I'm like, "Come on, start going forward, start attacking." And I got to be
when
honest,
me
when
and you
that
were doing
second
the
and
watch
third goal
along,
went in, it's almost like we're laughing. It's like, it's
Yeah.
funny. It's so bad. It's got to the point where you either laugh or you cry.
when me and you were doing that watch along, Nige, how many times did we say we had the ball? As soon as we passed it to one of our players, they had two of theirs all over him like a rash. When they got the ball, we were standing off them, giving them as much space as they wanted. They could turn, they could do what they wanted with it. There was no passion, there was no fighting, there was no closing down, there was no pressing, there was nothing.
No, we didn't start closing. We didn't start closing down until they came into our half. You know, it was an obvious tactic.
Well, we didn't even do that because how many
sit behind the ball?
As soon as we got the ball, they had one or two of their players straight on us. They gave us no time. They harried, they hassled, and basically they bullied us. They
wanted it. We didn't.
Yeah,
I think Sue Smith actually nailed it in the chat a minute ago. I think it was Sue Smith. And for me, when that first goal went in, you knew it was going to be 2-3, 4-0. You could have stopped watching there and quite happily and quite easily have predicted that score.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
From someone who was sitting there, like I say, I had my head in my hands at 2-0 because I had this down as the big 6-pointer. You know, for me, this was the game. If we're going to win a game and give ourselves a chance, this is the game to win. And that second goal went in. And like I say, I had my head in my lap, my hands over my head. Must have been 30 seconds. And I got up, got out of the seat, walked along the 20-odd seats to the OL, whatever it was. And I went downstairs and I had to go and have 5 minutes out the back. Downstairs. Just stood there watching the TV because I couldn't believe what I was watching. Mm-hmm. And then I walked back up the aisleway, you know, to where the people in the wheelchairs sit, there in the aisleway before you go up the stairs into the stand. And I stood there and security bloke come up to me and he went, "You're not supposed to stand there, mate." And he said, "But I don't suppose you're too happy, are you?" And just left me there with my arm left up against the wall watching the rest of the game. And I just like, I just can't believe they can be that bad effort-wise. You know, I know there's like the debate about how they play as a team, you know, but effort, surely each individual can put it in. And to me, there's too many there that either one, don't want to be there, two have just given up. And I think you can see the ones that are sort of having a go. You know, whether they're having bad games or not, you can still see people that are putting effort in. And that second half for me just epitomised Tottenham and what we're all about now, gutless, effortless, no passion, thick as shit like the board. And I'm really getting to the point now where Relegation is going to become a thing for me, because Stel knows, and I've told him, I agree with what he says. Yeah, I'm just one of them old boys that see me team go down once when I was a kid, and I don't want to see it again. But at the same time, if it's going to take what Stel thinks it's going to take to get this club rebooted again, then unfortunately, that's the way it's going to have to go. And it's through no fault of us, I've got to say. And I don't just mean the people here. I'm talking about the fans. You don't spend the money. They spend the money. They're the ones that align the club. They're the ones that are meant to have a structure. Yeah, they're the ones that bring the players in, and they're the ones that pay the wages. Right? They can't do anything right, and this is the situation that they've got themselves in. Let's see how Uncle Joe's looking at it at the end of the season, because I don't think he'll be too happy, will he? Sorry, that's just where I am with it. I didn't mean to go on.
This spot on. Need players of that kind of ilk,
Yeah.
ex-players of that kind of ilk, to be the board, make the decisions, footballing decisions.
Yeah.
Let them crack on with building houses, building hotels. To be honest, with Enoch, I don't care how much money they make. It's irrelevant to me being a football fan. I care what goes on the pitch whenever we play. How much money they make behind the scenes is really none of my business. But when they into all their property management and whatever they do, and they don't put no effort into making us better. All right, yes, they have spent the money, but they've spent it poorly. Very poorly. Look at the duds that we bought.
Shockingly.
Yeah. You look at the duds that we brought in that have done absolutely nothing. And we only act. We're not proactive. We're reactive. Bentancur gets injured, so you better go and buy someone. You know, so I believe is that when Polina come in on loan?
Gallagher, wasn't it?
Gallagher. Yeah, Polina gets injured. But panic stations will go and get Gallagher. You know, and he's, you know, it's just Poch had us right at the top. Right at the top. We were in millimetres winning the league. Vina could stuck around in his pocket, but no. If they'd have stuck around in the pocket, we could have won the Leicester season or the Chelsea season the following season, but no, they didn't. All Enoch were interested in is getting that top four money in. They wouldn't push us on to actually win the league. As long as they got the guaranteed Champions League money in, they were happy. That's all. Well, it's good in a way because it hurts them. But it's not good for us that it hurts us that we might get relegated. But Enoch have always just kept us relevant. They've never really wanted to win stuff. When we've won stuff, like with Ange and Ramos, was it Ramos? 2008? The two managers that have won us trophies since they've been here, it's been in spite of them. It's not because of them. And that's it. That is it. It's never because of them we won something. It is in spite of
I suppose, Mark, you could make an argument that Ange actually did achieve that, because you look at what happens after he went and how bad they were. They got even worse when he left.
Yeah.
So perhaps it was his influence that managed to help get us over the line there. But
maybe.
It doesn't look good though, does it?
I didn't like him as a manager. Because we lost 17 games that season.
Yes, it's not good. You can't say he was the perfect, the solution to everything. But it's astonishing that we actually got worse since he went.
Yeah,
that's just mind blowing.
Yeah, but it's all down to Enoch. All roads lead to Enoch all the time. All the time, even when we were great, and I wouldn't. Even then, when we were very good I was going to say great, but we weren't great. When we were very good under Pochettino, did they help him out? When we had that world-class starting 11, the Belgian barrier, Ericsson, Dembele, and all the rest of them, Harry Kane and Son, did they bring like players in that would sort of drop off once a bad if one of them got injured? No.
Yeah, bench loaded with Janssen and Jai, Bentaleb, Mason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that absolute belt as well.
Eric Dyers and that. You know, people like that, you know, they just didn't do nothing. If we'd have had 2 or 3 more players, we'd have won the league when Leicester won it and Chelsea won it the year after. I'm convinced of it, but they did nothing.
You know what? If I wanted us to stay up, I'd even take Eric Dyer back at the moment. That's how bad I think it is.
Oh, here we go. Hang on if I can find it. Where is it? Hurry up. The show's going flat. Where is it?
There it is. All of them.
There you go.
All the mod cons on here, you know. Cheers, Mark. Appreciate it, mate. Really appreciate it. We've even got the old choo-choo now.
Well, I found it accidentally.
Found it accidentally. Happy days. Oh, listen, I don't even know where we go from here. I just think, like I say, I'm pointing in your direction still now, and I never thought I would be sitting here saying I think it would be the best thing for this football club to do to drop the division. But you know,
I did say, and I said it to Sean Butler and to Lubo and all the others who were dead against relegation. I said, guys, I was 5 years ahead of the curve when I said ENIC out. People didn't want to hear it back then. I'm 5 years ahead on this one. You're all going to get there eventually. It's just how much more pain are you prepared to take before you get there?
Yeah.
Again, look, I repeat, if we get an ownership that actually shows they give a shit, we don't need to go down. It's a big avoidance. But Poch said to them, painful rebuild, and they said, nah. You had Conte that said this club doesn't like this. Conte told them, nah. Ange even said to them, you know, if you believe what he said on that Sky Sports interview, you know, you're bringing in all these kids. Where's the experience? Nah, get rid of him. Frank came in. He told us, how many times did Frank say, I've had constructive meals with Lange and Vinay. I've got the full backing of the owners. You know? No, you don't. No, you don't, mate. Right? So these managers keep telling us, and we keep saying, no, we know better. We know better than you. We just hire you to do what we say. Do as we say. Stop telling us how to do our job, even though we've been disastrous at it. So I'm just at a point, guys. I just don't want to keep doing this every year, like every single year, man. Like when Coover and I started on YouTube, we're going back 6 years, guys. Hey, we were having the same bloody conversation then. Hey, I wasn't even in my 40s. I'm closing in on 50, and I'm having the same conversation. I'm closer to. I can't do. I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna be like Lubo, closing in on 70 with 7-point manifestos. How to change it. I don't want to get to there. I don't want to be that.
You are. You are.
I don't want to be that guy. I want to get into my 50s and say, fucking love Tottenham. Fucking love you lot. But the way I'm going, I'm gonna be like Lubo. I'm gonna be with a manifesto talking about change. What's the point? What kind of a life is that, man? At least he's seen the good times. Like you guys up there, you've seen the good times. I haven't. I think Coover might. I haven't. I've seen 3 Poxy trophies, man. What the fuck have I seen?
Listen.
What have I seen?
Still, this is why we try and get people like yourselves on here. And we try and get people that don't have the same opinion as well. But we need to try and bang the drum, because the next question I was going to ask, which sort of leads on to that, was, number one, can the protests start again? Not necessarily because now we know we're too far down the road this season, and we probably know that if we're relegated before the Everton game, you will get however many thousand turnout against Enoch for the last game of the season, because we'll already be down, maybe. But the main question being, I'm not so much focusing on the Everton thing, but can a protest start again with another group? Is it possible, like you say, like you've all said, to use that Enoch out slogan as the one and only message, yeah, so that everyone knows what the protest is about? It's not about necessarily the players or the manager or whatever's going on at that time. It needs to be, it's just about Enoch out. And that's for anyone, by the way, Stel and all of you. It's for all of you.
Well, that's got to be the message from now on. Change for Tottenham have shot themselves in the foot, as far as I'm concerned, by cancelling the protest. I think maybe they get students in the future. I don't know, but I've seen a lot of messages on social media that people have given up with Change for Tottenham. I think a new organisation's got to be brought up, created, that get effect. Because I know several of the top protesters, like Stel, Graham, been to every single one. And I think a new group's got to be created, and it's solely got to be focused on Enoch. It's got to be.
For me, it doesn't matter. We've already tried that. People don't want to get behind it. So I think it's utterly pointless now. The only thing that's going to happen is when we're finally confirmed to be relegated, people will probably come out and protest then. And it's not going to matter at that point.
It's too late by then.
Because we're going down, and there'll be a whole summer for it all to be forgotten. And just nothing happens. And the worst one of the lot is if we actually, by some miracle, manage to get some meaningful protests going. And I mean people chanting in the ground, Enoch out, all game long, wearing T-shirts with the Enoch out written on it, turning their back on the team to show that they're in unity with Enoch out on the back of the shirt. That would be great. Something for the cameras, something so blunt and obvious that the fans are in complete unrest about this ownership, rather than these little sort of half in, half out, wishy-washy attempts. Something brutal, something that the cameras can't ignore. You can do it with sit-ins. You can do a big protest outside. The works, banners, chanting, whatever. Not happy stuff, angry stuff that gets noticed, stuff that gets on cameras and thinking, other fans from other clubs and the media thinking, wow, they're really kicking off there. Not, oh, this is a really nice, sweet move. This gets behind the team. That's going to do nothing. The owners love that. They play on that like it's their idea at the end of the day. It's like, oh yeah, we're all one big family. Come and buy our burgers and our beer. Come on into the ground. Yeah, let's pack that out. Great day for us. No, I think we've had the chance to go with a really simple slogan. People didn't want to get behind it. What's the bloody point? What I see happening is even if we do miraculously stay up and say it's on the last day of the season and the penultimate game, we managed to secure our survival in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And there was a big protest on that day. Even if that happens, if we stay up, next match, there won't be any protest at all. It'll be like nothing's happened, carry on. That's my biggest fear. I'm less worried about getting relegated than I am about staying up under these owners, because nothing changes. I don't want to be locked in for another 25 years of this bullshit. I won't survive that long anyway, but I'd like to think other fans deserve more than what we get.
Yeah.
I think
That's why
until
we do what we do. Go on.
until
Go on,
you
Joe.
get the appetite for protest, there's no point in starting another group. Now, relegation may create that appetite for protest. It may not. We live in a very modern world where optics are everything. And I think the original ENIC out group, and whilst I admire them, I think they were doomed from day one because optics are everything. And when they unfurled the big ENIC out banner outside the shop, and there was a little guy in the picture with his little, he'd been in the shop and bought something, he had his little Tottenham Hotspur shop bag, I think it was doomed from them because that just sent such a bad signal to people. If there is an appetite to protest and if a new group started, it would have to be run very professionally. It would have to be very organised. It would have to probably have a registration process so you would know numbers. Things would have to be organised well in advance. I just think for whatever reason, the original ENIC out lot just got very bad publicity and were frowned upon for whatever reason. I don't know the reason, and they were treated abysmally. I listened to Stell the other day saying, he was having bottles of Coke thrown at him and stuff like that. There was never a call for that. But I just, until that appetite's there, I mean, I've got 1,000,001 ideas, and some of those Coovers, I'm on the same lines with Coover. I don't. We had this conversation. I don't believe a pitch invasion will work because you go to that stadium, you see you'll never get 20,000 people on that pitch over the barriers. But I just think it needs to be done properly, if done at all, once the numbers or the appetite is there. And I would help as much as I could. I don't have an awful lot of time, but Cookie, my views on it already.
Oh.
I've made those quite public.
Yeah.
So I would help where I
there's
could,
no appetite,
even
mate.
financially. No, the appetite isn't there at the moment, and maybe Stell's right that Stellagation would be a driver to get the appetite back for protesting.
I don't listen. I hope you're right. My personal view is the protests are dead. Waste of time now because the fans have shown, even when we're in the complete and utter shitmire that we're in, they're still not bothered. They still want a day out. They're still going to give ENIC what they want. It's an absolute waste of time waiting for this fan base to pull their finger out. They're not going to do it. They'll accept whatever's thrown at them. There's a small section of the fan base that cares enough to want to do something about it, but most just are happy to go online, moan, rant, complain. And then what happens is their moans are facilitated by other moaners. So you get one person that moans, then you'll get a journalist that comes on a show, he'll moan, and people say, well said, mate. Well, yeah, fucking love that. Love what? What have you said that we haven't been saying for 5 years? Your words mean nothing. Your words are just making you just sound like you fit in with the current trend. And they all bounce off each other, this big complaints fest bouncing off each other with no action. So the fans aren't going to change nothing. I've accepted it now. I've finally accepted it. Do you know when they're going to protest? If Chelsea relegate us, they'll all protest at the Everton game. Too late. Too late. What is the point of protesting now? The damage is done. Because if God forbid Chelsea, the team that relegate us, first of all, I've told you guys about needing 5,000 police officers at that game. But when we come back for the last game of the season against Everton, any fan that turns up, what are they going to do? Turn up to Clapham, the end of year when they walk out with their kids and we say, well done. That's not going to happen. It's going to be fucking vile. Then they'll protest. Then they'll boo. Then you'll see the fans finally realise. But it's too late. It's too late, guys. And Joey, that's what it's going to take. A seismic event for them to wake up. They still can't see it. There's still fans that can't see it. I'm lost for words with what is going on at this club, guys. I'm absolutely stunned. Our fan base doesn't want to stand up and do something now. But there you go.
Like I said, they could protest. They could protest at the Everton game after we're relegated, and it could get quite feisty then. But 2 weeks later, summer holidays, it'll all be forgotten. It's like it never even happened. Then it'll be, we got a campaign coming up in the Championship now. Who are we going to get as manager? Oh, who are we going to sign? And the focus will be gone completely. Guarantee it. It's always the same. always the same.
Right, we just got a couple of quick super chats. First, Mark Taylor, member of the Mark Army. I don't want relegation, but I think we are done.
It's fair enough.
I got the same
It's looking
feeling.
that
Fair
way.
comment.
No, I've got the same
Big up,
feeling.
Mark. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. And one final one from Tim, man. You're very generous. Always very generous, mate. You don't have to do this. Unfortunately, guys, forget any Spurs legend or ex-player being on the board. This club don't make sensible decisions. Exactly. I think once again, left it too late to make a change. Chelsea away is our doomsday. Just what you were saying, Stel. Half the Met Police on duty that day.
Listen, I've told you, my dad's a Chelsea fan. Chelsea fans are looking at that game. If there's a chance for Chelsea to relegate us, they are planning a big post-match event, and there's no way 3,000 diehard Spurs fans are going to sit there and take that. I'm telling you, they're gonna.
Right.
Listen. Do you know what? Let it burn. Let it crash and burn, man. Fucking bring it on. Let's have it. Let's just have it.
Sake.
I can't disagree.
Chelsea will be having a parade at that game.
Yeah.
For relegating us.
I wanna
They're
see-
going
I
to
wanna see
absolutely
Spurs fans.
love it.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that Chelsea fans can't wait. You know, I got a mate
No.
who works for Chelsea, and he's like, you know, if we put you down, it's going to be absolute carnage. Yeah. And listen, as far as the protest goes, I think they're dead. I think they're pretty much dead. I don't see them starting again. Certainly not with change for Tottenham. I think, listen, I got the change for Tottenham thing. Part of the reason I think they got so many at a couple of the protests was the fact that not everyone was in account. Some people wanted Levy out. Some people at the time wanted Ange out. And I think that's part of the reason why they got those 2,000 now for one of the protests. But, you know, the root cause is Enoch. We all know that. And I just don't see the fans protesting now. I think the only chance we got is if we go down. And that'll be next season. And again, it'll be too late by then. Most of the fans that go to the stadium are fair weather fans, and that's nothing against them. You know, it's a day out for most of them. I went to the Leicester game last year, and I was sat behind a group of fans who were season ticket holders, and they were talking like 5 minutes before halftime. Oh, let's go down for a pint. They didn't come back up to the 60th minute. They don't care, you know. And then we conceded 2, and then they're back down at the bar again by 75 minutes. Most of the fans don't care that are actually there anyway.
Yeah.
Mate, I was at the Arsenal game where we got humiliated in the North London derby. Absolutely humiliated in the North London derby. This is our biggest game of the season when we play that lot. 4-1 battering. Could have been more. And I stormed out of that stadium in a rage. And I walked past the South Stand bar. Packed. Just, it's just another game. You know, you win some, you lose some. So, fucking hell, at the old stadium, no one's staying behind. You know, no one's having that. But now it's, you know, just, they're a good team, Arsenal. You know, they're a good team. What? What do you mean? Is that it? Okay, fair enough. Oh, yeah, a good team. Let's go and have a pizza.
It just goes to prove, though,
in the stadium.
as far as the
Yeah, of course in the
protests go,
stadium. Of course in
as
the
far as the
stadium.
protests go, it just goes to prove that there was going to be a protest at the last game, and it got cancelled for the Kumbaya party. But the club got involved. Oh, come on in! It's 2 for 1 on drinks. That's all you need to do. Buy one, get one free. That's it. Happy days. Come on in, give us all your money. Get pissed as farts. You know, come on, give us all your money. Get pissed as farts, and then then it won't matter when we lose. You know, so the fans are. Well, put it this way: every time I've been in that ground, I've never bought a pint. Ever. I will not spend a single penny in there. I'd sooner go to support the local businesses, Chick King and the Coach and Horses. You know,
Fair, I did, because I wanted to see the pint fill up from the bottom, but after the price of 2 pints, that was it for me.
Yeah.
So they've made
Last-
it comfortable.
Yeah, last time I
They've made
spent
it
any
family
money
friendly.
last time I spent any money on the club was just before Yol was sacked.
Right, Stel, let me just go to these starred questions a minute, because I know you wanted, I know it's a long time ago because we've been yapping, but you wanted to answer Gus at 7:42. I believe that is the message.
Yeah, he says relegation will hurt Tottenham Hotspur, not Enoch. Enoch owned Tottenham Hotspur. 100% it hurts them because they own the football club. We don't own Tottenham. They do. So it will hurt them. And he says they've worked for this for 25 years. The NFL will replace the football stadium. 60% of our turnover directly comes from football. We're looking at £200 to £300 million financial hit if we go down. So it's going to hurt them. And the debts, when people say, what if we go down again? And well, Enoch are the guarantors of the debt. So if the club just disappears, they've got to pay £1 billion of debt. If billionaires don't have cash in the bank, it's all sitting in assets. So they're going to have to liquidate, which isn't easy to do, to then pay off the debt. Mate, that doesn't happen to billionaires. And also, if they ever want to borrow money again in the United Kingdom, no one's touching them. The whole family's reputation is damaged. So be under no illusion. If we go down, that financial hit will rock them so hard, they're either going to have to sell up or fix the football to get that financial credibility and financial valuation back. I know Sean's a financial knowledgeable guy, but I'm coming at this as an entrepreneur who owns small businesses, nothing like Tottenham, right? Not even close. I understand the basics, and the basics are when you take a hit, you got to bounce back or get out. One of the two has to happen. You don't just let the asset collapse. Before I moved to Cyprus, I had a business that was declining. Do you know what? I sold off what I could. Right, so they're going to have to be forced to sell or fix the finances. And the only way you fix the finances is by fixing the football, because that is 60% of your income. They're going to, and this is my whole argument. So it will hurt Enoch, and NFL won't save them alone. And by the way, there's new rules in place from the government. There's a new government framework where the government has now intervened, where they are now legally involved in football. The club just can't be allowed to become an NFL franchise and the football club to shut down. There is now government rules in place where the government can intervene if they feel a football club is being that badly mismanaged, because the government believes that football is a part of our culture. It's a part of Britain. It's a part of who we are. So they've, and they appreciate that fans, it means a lot to us. So I hear what Gus is saying, but I could argue every point of this, that this is an incorrect statement that you've posted, Gus. In my opinion, that's my argument.
Fair play. There you go. And there's just one other question in here that Pete's put in. Question for the panel, if possible. If Spurs are drawn with or beat City in that game where I think Pete's talking about where Son missed the chance at the end, you'd have made the Champions League and you'd not be in this position now. When we could have won the league. When we could have won the league.
We're in the Champions League this year. Look at us. We're in the Champions League this year. What are you talking about? Doesn't make sense. We're in the Champions League now. Look at the state of us.
Pete's an Arsenal fan, though.
This is an Arsenal fan, by the way, Stel. Just so you know, it's Pete.
I get that. Pete, we were in the Champions League this season. What is your argument?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense being in the Champions League whatsoever. It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't give us any relevance to where we are as a football club. If anything, it's a hindrance right now.
Even more crazy is supposing we'd won the league. But when Pochettino's team was going against Greyers, we came close. Even if we'd won the league, Enoch would have still done the same thing. You've had
Yep.
your investment. Now we're cutting off that. You
Yep.
get on with it.
They'd
They
have
would've
creamed
let-
it more.
They would have let it
Whereas-
rot, Kuva. They would have let it rot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd have creamed it more.
I just want to say just two things. Number one, Kuva's speech and Stell's speech just there, I think were the most spot on things I've heard for months about from a Spurs fan, from any Spurs
It's
fan.
worth liking the show, isn't it? It's worth a
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a like. Because honestly, I think like what you were saying, Stell, as well, and I think I know what you're referring to about a sports writer going on and saying the same things that we've literally been saying, and everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, that's spot on." But this is the shit we were saying fucking 5 years ago. But this is the same shit, and no one wanted to listen. It's literally the same shit. And do you know what? I'm really at that point where I couldn't even give a shit about the majority of this fan base. I only care about the fans like us who actually give a shit about the football club, because the rest of them, they don't. I'm going to call it for what it is. They don't care, because like Stell said, and like so many other people have said it, it's so obvious. This fan base will protest once we are down and out. Once we're down and out and we're done, when it means nothing, that's when they're going to do it, right? And that's going to infuriate me even more than anything else. I live in another country, so I can't come and protest like I used to do. So it makes it even more infuriating for me. It's just, do you know what? It's just I am kind of with Stell, where a lot of these fans deserve this. They actually deserve it because they've accepted this crap from this club and this board for too many years. And there's only a small minority of us that have actually really seen what's going on at this football club and who actually genuinely care about it. And did someone say that someone threw a bottle of Coke at Stell? Is that even true?
That's what Stell said.
That's ridiculous. This is what I'm saying. This
was about
this is how
5 years ago when there was about 25 of us, and they called us toxic idiots. They even
This
called
is
us racist because we wore purple and gold. They told us that we were UKIP.
This is how bad this fan base is that we because we had a different opinion to the masses who are there's so many words I will not say on stream what I think of them, right? But it's like now they're moaning about it and crying about the situation that we're in, yet they still don't want to do anything. I kind of say it's a big F you to all of them, all of those fans. You deserve this. That's what I say.
Danny, I do think they care, right? I do think they care.
No,
about
Stell, they don't. Stell, come on,
No,
let's
hear me
let's
out.
call it for what it is. Call it for what it is.
No, hear me out. No, hear me out. I do think they care for the club.
No, they care for going to having a pint at the stadium, mate, and having fun after a game and laughing around. We've just got battered 3-0 by Nottingham Forest. I spoke to so many fans who went to that game, and even some of the fans that you don't even get along with, Stell, were saying to me that they were disappointed because they saw fans laughing and buying beers after getting battered 3-0 by Forest. Are you having a laugh?
Let me finish your point. I think they do care about the club, but they live in fear of standing up to what they know is the problem. Deep down, they all know what the problem is.
I don't agree with that.
But they fear standing up to it because I believe they fear the retribution or the consequence of being labelled the way we get labelled. They fear challenging, and they
Still, it's not even that, mate.
how they will look. Danny, I believe this. I believe they're so scared of how they will look to their peers or to other YouTubers or in WhatsApp groups. They're scared to be associated with the Enoch outlaw. They're scared of what that might look like to them, that they'd rather hide themselves in a pint of beer.
No, that's the thing. You're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it the wrong way. I understand what you're saying completely, right? But my perception of it is that they care about the football club to an extent, right? They care about going to the stadium, watching their team, and I've said this for weeks now. They want good vibes. They want vibes, right? Why do you think most of the fan base wants Harry Redknapp? It ain't because he's a top manager right now who's going to get us out of a situation. It's for vibes. Let's be honest. Why is it we want Harry Redknapp? He hasn't managed in 10 years. The guy's 80 years old. He's had 2 heart attacks or 1 heart attack. And he's a lovely guy, right? and we all would love to see him just because of the vibes, right? This fan base wants vibes. That's what it wants. It wants good feelings, because for too long we have had shit for way too long, right? And for me, the problem is that these fans just don't have it in them to want to get more not toxic, get more angry, or get more let's just say to protest more, right? They don't want to do it because they don't care enough to do it still, right? Why is it then? Tell me why you think and Kuva thinks.
No, they do.
Right?
They do care. They're scared.
No. Stell. No, let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question.
They're very image conscious.
I'm going to ask you this question. If they care, right? You said to me just now, and Kuva said that they're more likely to protest once we are down and out, once we have been relegated. Why is that? I'll ask you that question. Why is that?
Hope. Clinging on to hope at the moment.
No, but I'm saying, like, is it because it's done? Like, there's nothing. Is that the protest isn't really going to make a difference to being in the Premier League anymore, or is it something else?
No,
Danny,
I think it's. No, go on, Stan.
Go on, Kuva. Sorry, mate. No, you go.
All right. Yeah. Personally, I know lots of fans like this that prefer to focus on purely the football side of it.
Of course.
And they just want to get behind the team and then just shut off the rest. They don't
exactly
want to get involved.
And that's the problem.
It's because living in the world today is stressful enough already for a lot of people. They haven't got the heart to take on more than they have to. And I'm not going to blame those fans for it. This is where I do fall out with Stella a bit on treatment of fans. And you as well, Danny, in a lot of ways. But I've got more of an acceptance of we just have fans like that. You can't change them. It's like trying to change somebody's politics. It's just not going to happen. They can listen to you. They can agree with everything you say. And then they're still going to do what they always do. It's like religion as well. You just can't get it out of them. You might convert a few people, but not many.
Do you know what my problem is, Kuva? Is that every other fan base that I've seen, when they've gone through problems in the Premier League, like your Evertons, your Arsenals, your Newcastles, your Man United, your Liverpools, your Chelseas, they all can protest in masses of numbers. Masses. It is embarrassing to be part of a fan base that can get 100 people to a protest when I see our rival clubs, including clubs that are below us in the league, when they're going through stuff, they're getting tens of thousands of fans protesting because they're fans, because they feel the same way, Kuva. A lot of their fans also only have football in their lives as their one outlet in the world that we live in today. And because of that, right, they feel the need that they have to protest because they are in the situation they're in because of how the board has treated their clubs. And our fans cannot take that on and have that feeling of, why do I feel like this about my football club? Oh, let me guess. It's because it's been mishandled and mistreated by the board. So how do we change this? We have to go against the people that have put us in the situation in the very first place. And that's what I can't get on board with, is that the fans don't have that feeling. They don't have it because they don't want it, Kuva.
The other thing, Danny, is you've got to look at 25 years plus of basically PR conditioning by the club.
Yep.
Fans have now been trained to think this way, to accept the mediocrity, to accept absolute bullshit all the time.
Thank you, Daniel Levy, for that.
This is a topic I keep coming back to at times. I noticed this many, many years ago. Hugo Lloris in goal. And I think we drew 0-0 against West Brom or somebody like that. Might have been Stoke or something. Bloody awful game, 0-0. And instead of being unhappy about it, there was a big blow-up spread of like, don't you just love it when Hugo keeps a clean sheet? And it got bloody millions of likes on it. And I thought, is that what we celebrate now?
Yeah.
That's what it's like being a Spurs fan now. You come to expect nothing. So
the only thing I'll say,
just mediocrity, and like if something looks pretty for a little while, and you can have a drink with your friends, then that's the day out.
Yeah.
It's changed from what it used to be.
It's the conditioning that's happened over 25 years of PR spins by the football club, by Daniel Levy, by Donna Cullen, and too many fans believing what they see because let's face it, this is how propaganda works, right? That's how governments can get the masses to vote for them and all this kind of stuff. It's they give an idea out and they force something on you and they make you believe it when really it's a load of shit most of the time.
What's the biggest thing that's
same thing in
used in
politics.
the counter argument to ENIC out? It will be, well, we built that stadium.
Yeah.
Great. It's not a trophy because
Yeah.
it isn't to me.
Yeah.
Well, and going on the fans, you got to remember, Man United got a game cancelled against Liverpool, I believe.
Yep. It
When
was.
they invaded the stadium.
Yep. I wish our fans could do that.
That's how passionate they are.
Yep. We don't have that, Mark. We don't have that.
No.
Sheriff, can I be clear? Because there's Cyril McCoy's in the chat has said he's sick of people saying the fans deserve this. I want to be very clear about this. The fans who moan about ENIC, the fans who blame ENIC, the fans who constantly complain about ENIC, the journalists who go on other shows and go in on ENIC, everyone who directly blames ENIC, those fans who choose to do nothing, they do deserve it. 100%. The fans that don't blame ENIC, the fans who protect ENIC, the fans who think it's all the manager's fault, they don't deserve it because they think everything's great. They're completely in denial. I can't have a go at someone who's in denial. If you think it's Conte, Poch's, Nuno's, Ange's, Stellini's, Tudors, Frank's, Poch, Redknapp's, Martin Joel, if you think it's their fault and it's all them, then yeah, you don't deserve this because you think we just need to keep changing managers. But all I hear across every podcast, every emergency stream, Talk Sport, Sky Sports, TNT, Foreign Sports, Last Word on Spurs, We Are Tottenham TV, my channel, your channel, his channel, their channel, Chris Cowling. All I hear is the bloody board. The bloody board. Right. So if we all agree that the board are the problem and we choose to do nothing about it, then you deserve the consequence of relegation because you're allowing them to do the thing that you're blaming them for. That I can't get my head around.
Yeah,
Where I agree with Coover, where I agree with Coover though is you can't change them.
Yep.
You can't change them as people. I just can't understand how people who say cigarettes are killing me, cigarettes are killing me, cigarettes are killing me.
Yeah, it's the same
Let me
thing,
light
yeah.
a fag.
Yeah.
I can't get my head around that, but I also accept I can't stop you from smoking the fag. Does that make sense, guys? I can't stop you from smoking it.
Yep.
But you are fucking complicit in, and you know what your problem is. That's the bit I can't get my head around. But fair play. Keep smoking then. Keep just another fag. Then. It's fine. But don't you dare cry when you drop dead. Because you know what you're doing. Anyway.
Moving on.
Anyway, Danny comes on and I start shouting because he shouts, so I've got to shout.
Good evening, Mr. Taylor. And what are your view on this evening's discussion?
It's a lot to digest. I think everybody's right. I think it's a hell of a mess. I don't actually think. I think ENIC, if they would drop the football, but keep the stadium and everything like that. I think the football's complete hassle for them. I don't think they want it. I think it's just there. It gets them money. I just think it's a complete hassle for them. I don't think fans would be as compliant if we were in the old stadium, unlike the new stadium. I think we'd have more protesters if we were at the old stadium rather than when we're at the new stadium that we are now. I think that all these people, a lot of people go there, are champagne lobsters, there for a nice time. It's a get together. You know, they're not all there to watch Spurs. Let's be honest.
Well, I've told you, I was at the back of the South Stand and someone.
Yes,
I was at the back of the South Stand and someone was playing Candy Crush in front of me.
Yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it? I mean, you can't stop people playing Candy Crush, mate. If they want to pay 80 quid a ticket to sit there playing Candy Crush, do you know what I mean? It's madness. And I think this is, I mean, you can say it's a problem if you want to look at it that way. When you go back to the old White Hart Lane, you was pretty much guaranteed that the majority, like the majority of people that are in there are actually Spurs fans. Probably 35,000 of them out of the 36, not counting the away fans. But you know, I've had to go to the stadium twice because I've had to make sure what I saw the first time weren't going to happen the second time, if that makes sense. And me explaining that is, we were so shit against West Ham, right? I had to go because I wanted to see the stadium. I've never been since ENIC took over. I've been ENIC out from day one because they were just about money and not about the football club, as everyone is still finding out today, and they're still here now. And we still can't get a bloody protest together to sort these people out. And it's honestly, it's absolute madness. And look, they are unfortunately, you know, the protests are dead. If there was anything that I think like if I could get 10 of us together and we could brainstorm how to get the people to protest against the owners, I don't think we're garner enough support. You know, I don't know what to say. I think the club have done a magnificent job in making sure there is plenty of, I don't know, positivity about this season and looking at things that are positive, which is fair enough in a certain light. But like to me, they've had the last Saturday, the parade thing, whatever you want to call it, and it never worked. The result told you that, and that's if they was even on the bus, right? So why would you want to continue that? Number one, it obviously didn't work. So, well, ENIC could have gone on and continue that because they're quite happy selling 2-for-1 beers to everyone. So they're making money at the bar. They jumped on board soon enough when they find out the positivity train was coming along. You know, but fuck the protest. And I'll never understand why you lot in the last 6 years and even currently, even more today, the club, the plight that it finds itself in, why people would not want to protest about the owners. I don't know what else to say. It flabbergasts me how they've been allowed to get away with it for so long. And then this year, more than any other year, they've changed the board around. Anyone that knew anything about football was replaced. You know, now all we've got on the board is a bunch of finance people that ain't got a Scooby-Doo. And then the people, like Stell said, the people that they've employed to do a job, hire and fire and do anything else, they've gone straight over the top of their barnets and done it themselves.
I'll tell you what I can't understand, mate.
Sorry, Mark, just quickly. Do you know how long ago it is that I first got a red flag about ENIC? When they took over, Daniel Levy came out with a big speech about how it was so important to get Spurs back, start playing the Spurs way. So he got Hoddle in as the flagship, managerial appointment to get all the fans behind them. Clever move, damn right, clever move. Yeah. Club legend comes in, played the Tottenham way. He was sacked in what? He came in 2000, sacked in 2003, was it? Or was it only 2 years he lasted? Can't remember now. It's a while ago. But the point was getting the Tottenham way in. This is the start of this DNA bullshit that Levy would have us believe. Play the Tottenham way. It's so important. Get Hoddle in. Brilliant. Then when it came to sacking him, get Jacques Santini in. How is that the Tottenham way? If you didn't sit up and think, hang on a minute, you said it's about playing a certain way of football and you just hired this manager. And I thought, this bloke I can't believe he's incompetent. You wouldn't get that far in life if you're a complete moron. So I just thought, he's full of it. He's just blatantly lying.
Do you know why he's a genius, Kuva? Daniel Levy? Because he saw this fan base as a dumb fan base. He was like, I can say whatever I want to them and they'll believe it. Like, we're going to play the Tottenham way, hire Jack Santini. Then you're gonna hire Juan de Ramos, and then you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna tell us a couple years back we want an attacking manager, and then you go and hire Nuno Espirito Santo. I mean, like it's just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie.
I don't think it's genius, Danny. I think it's just using the obvious things at his disposal. He doesn't really speak much, does he? He just lets the PR team get on with it.
No, he just lets the fans believe whatever is put out there, and they lap it up.
Yeah, but that's where he was very, very good. He learned very, very quickly that he could earn money off of people's loyalty. He could tell you any shit, and you will go back week after week after week and lap it up.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the thing with all these football owners, is they know that generally, I'm not saying, but generally, once you support a team, you're there for life. You know, I mean, we don't pick and we don't swap and change our teams on a seasonally basis, do we? I mean, me, I had no choice in the matter. So it is what it is.
Isn't it? Who does? Who does
Yeah,
have a choice?
and so where they were very clever is they knew that whatever they said, they could get away with, because we weren't just going to suddenly say, "Oh well, we'll go and support Arsenal instead." You know what I mean? That don't happen, does it?
No.
It's just very sad. It's just a big old circus. That's what it is. The best way to describe it is a circus. The club is a circus.
Can I say to people that say protesting doesn't work? Doing nothing doesn't work. Doing absolutely fuck all doesn't work. So if you don't want to protest, what do you want to do? Let's write a letter to the club. That hasn't worked. Let's send emails every year. That doesn't work. Let's all get on the high street and cheer on a bus. That doesn't work. So doing nothing doesn't work. And this is what people will say. Protesting doesn't work. If you ask them, what have you tried? Nothing. So then the next question is, so what is your nothing done? That doesn't work. The worst thing you can do is nothing when you know there's a problem. Changing managers doesn't work. Changing football director doesn't work. Spending 250 Mate, nothing works. We've never got enough numbers to protest. The one time we got a decent number of fans at the protest and the media grabbed hold of it, Levy was gone. Let's get 20,000 at a protest and you see what happens to Enoch. You will see what happens, but we don't want to do it. I really don't understand fans who say protesting doesn't work. Doing nothing doesn't work. And you've got
tell the suffragettes that.
But any protest group, you've got people like Tango Bin, Al Sheed, these trolls that go around. He was one of the biggest people going around saying, "You protesters, this, you Enoch out." Now look at him; he's in the absolute mud, and he still wants to come in and say, "Oh, I was only joking. It was only satire." You fucking idiot! You facilitated this. You fucking facilitated this, and now look at you trying to wriggle out of it.
I think it's two different arguments, isn't it, though? Still, protesting does work. Protesting at this club,
yeah, because people don't want to do it. That's why.
Shit numbers low numbers at a protest doesn't work.
But it is because the fan base has been diluted, and yeah. I say this time and time again. There's a massive difference between fans and followers.
Yes,
and that club, that stadium is packed with followers week in, week out.
Yep, that's exactly it. Spot on. And that's why I think Daniel Levy was a genius, because all he needed to do was, like someone said, is to get onto the loyalty bandwagon of this fan base and divide and conquer, and that's what he did very well.
I suppose I'm a massive hypocrite in a lot of ways, because 25
you big YWC
25 30 years ago, if there was something like this happening, I'd be straight there, front line on the protest, no problem at all. Easy traveling distance for me back then. No responsibilities, no family to look after. I would have been up for it. And if it got really stupid and we're doing more and more risky things like pitch invasions and you maybe get arrested, who knows, belly full of a few beers and few of my mates with me, maybe that would have happened. Perhaps I would have got a little criminal record off it or something. It would have happened. But right now, I've got kids to look after. I live 150 miles away. I'm really, really not well physically and mentally as well in a lot of ways because I am Spurs and I can't do it. So for me to get really up in somebody's face about not protesting is a bit rich, because if I'm not doing it, how can I expect somebody else to do it? But like Stel says, and Danny says as well, we're all agreeing on it. There's a section of fans that say, yeah, I hate Enoch. Oh, I can be that. And the ones especially are the ones that say, yep, I'll be at the protest. I'll be at the protest. And then they don't bloody show. And it dilutes everything. It makes it so pathetic. It makes other clubs laugh at us. We can't even protest right.
But what I'm saying, what I don't understand, right? If you see a bad movie, you don't go see it again. If we're 17th, we lose every week. How are these fans turning up thinking, I won't protest, but I'll go and watch Spurs? I just don't get it. This is the shittest I've ever seen in over 45 years. It's utter dross. Utter dross. I just don't understand how fans can pay 70, 80 quid, then have a few beers at the stadium to watch us get stuffed by Arsenal, stuffed by Fulham, stuffed by Palace, and then think, I'll do it all next week, but I won't protest. I just don't get it.
It's today's woke society, Mark.
Maybe.
Sorry,
No,
lads.
Tottenham.
2 marks and everyone. I've got to go now, unfortunately. So,
all right,
not
Coos.
leave you.
Thanks, Kuba.
Big up,
One
Kuba.
last thing to say.
See you,
Two last things
Coos.
to say. So a bit of delegation, but ultimately, Enoch out. And it's always been Enoch out, and it always will be Enoch out until they have gone.
Yep.
Right.
I'll
good
be in
night.
touch, Coobs. I'll be in touch.
See you soon, Kuba.
Take care.
Take care, mate.
Cheers, Kuba.
See you, Coos.
What a legend that geezer
Yeah,
is.
absolute
Honestly.
legend, that man.
What a legend.
Some speech, wasn't it? A bit of a Martin Luther King moment.
It was, man. I was glued to it. Do you know what I mean? It was like just great.
I could almost hear him from here. I could
I
almost hear him from here because he lives 20 miles down the road from me.
I said to Stel the other day, because I think Stel speaks very well. When he puts his points across and the context to it, and Sava's good at it as well. And you've heard Kuva there, and there's many people that are good at it. I'm not very good at that. I can talk for England, right, about Spurs, but I don't always get me point across. And if I do, I'm always pretty sharp with it. Does that make sense, Stel? Sorry,
I understand what everyone says. I totally get what you say.
You know, but some people can speak about a point a lot better than others can, if you know what I mean.
There's a lot of people that can make a good word salad as well, and just and use 100 words, when they only need about 10.
Yeah.
Still, I think you or Kuva should come together and write a speech. I have a dream, and then put it out to the Spurs fan base.
Yeah.
Listen, our fans have shown their true colours. In the worst of all circumstances, they are just accepting it. So there's no point. They're not going to change. Only a catastrophic or disastrous situation will make them realise. And
the thing is, though, next year, if we go down a championship and still the stadium is full, then we've got a massive problem.
It won't be, I don't think.
Then we've got a massive problem.
Can't see it. Maybe at the start of the championship next season, you might see the.
Then can I ask you a question, guys? If that's the case, right? Does that then kind of show a little bit of who the real fans are of Spurs and not just the followers?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't tell me the prawn sandwich brigade are going to turn up when we play Millwall if we got to play Millwall. They're not. They're not.
We have
no chance.
That's amazing.
No disrespect. No disrespect to Logan in the chat as well, but Lincoln City. You know what I mean? At our place, it's you know what I mean. It'd be a big day out for them. But
Mate,
every home game we have is going to be like the other team's FA Cup final. They would have never played at a ground like ours, unless we drew them in a cup or something.
And they will love it when we go to their ground. When we go to their ground, they're going to be
will.
well up for it as well.
Giant killing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know the biggest disgrace
Richest
of
club
the
in
year?
the world, getting beat by Lincoln City every week?
Mate, Danny, do you know the biggest disgrace of the year? Hands down, this was the disgrace of disgrace, was when more fans walked out on the day that we're always together forever, forever together forever, sing it, stand up, shake it, make it, whatever the right.
Are you singing the
More
Spice Girls
fans,
song, is, Joe?
more, yeah, Spice Girls anthem. More fans walked out of the stadium than what they did when Change for Tottenham arranged a walkout in protest.
Oh,
More fans walked out.
Yeah, we just come back to 2-2 versus Man City.
What was the slogan? All together, always, or something? It should be all together, always,
always
until we go 1-0 down.
Until we go 1-0 down,
mate. That's why I said this whole show up, sing up, stay up. It should be show up, sing up, walk out.
What does anyone make of this statement that's on the screen at the moment? Because
sorry.
So it's all right, Mark. Yeah, can you just go back one? Sorry. Because I've seen this before. I don't know if it was Eltel that put it in another, either in a WhatsApp group or another. I think it might have been another chat on another show. But the same as what it says here. Get your fans groups on the same page. Fight for your club. It's your club, not their club. They are only custodians. It's the fans' club. The owners want tourists like Liverpool, United, and the arse. So do our lot, I think.
Yeah, they've already done it. They've already got what they want.
Yeah, definitely. Why do you think the tickets are so expensive? Because the hardcore fans that used to go to the old White Hart Lane have been priced out because they know, because that they won't spend money like the corporates will. They won't go and order lobster. They might have a pint at the bar, sausage and chips or something, and that'll do them. It's all built around the corporate thing.
It's disgusting, really, when you think about it, isn't it? Because back in the day, Mark, like we went to football when we was like young men, if you like, from teenagers, 14, 15 on our own. I mean, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you think about it now, even when I was working as a young man, I was still at Spurs every week. It was my, I was a single bloke. I worked all week and football was my thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I spent all my money on. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously back in the day, mate, I would have been 17. I had my first job, I think. And obviously I live 150 mile away from Tottenham. I used to get on the train, pay to get in White Hart Lane. Mm. It's when you could just turn up and pay on the turnstiles to get in and go and watch a game and come home and it'd cost me 30 quid or so, because
I was alluding to earlier. I have quite a stressful job. I have a shit week at work. My escape at the end of the week is Tottenham. I've had my kids. I've done all of that. I've got rid of all the wives, all the kids. They've all grown up. Pissed off. My escape is Tottenham. And I can't even do that anymore because it's so shit.
Yeah. It's like I was going to say, right? It used to cost me 30 quid. That would have probably been, I don't know, a quarter of a week's wages back then. What's a ticket to go to the ground now? 70 quid.
Yeah.
And with a train fare as well for me to go out there, you're talking like about the same on a return train fare. It's cost me like, bloody hell. By the time we have beers and food and whatever else, it's going to cost me 300 notes.
I was just going to say when I went to the Forest game the other week, filled the car up, drove down. a pound short of 70 quid for a ticket, I think it was. Right. And then time you've had something to eat, and not in the ground, by the way, outside of the ground, and all your other bits and pieces, popped in the pub for a pint or whatever, bought a round, whatever. It's like 250, 270 for the day out. And that's without getting up at 5:30 in the morning as well, by the way, and getting home at 10 o'clock at night.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? I couldn't afford to do that every 2 weeks. No chance. No chance. No chance. I don't know how people do it that have got families. Honestly, I people that have got kids want to take their kids to the football.
Well, especially the ones who are not living like you guys who are not living like 20 minutes or 30-minute drive from the stadium, like in and around the ground or just outside of London. Like the people who are living like where you guys live or in the Midlands or just far away or abroad, it will cost people a lot of money to go and watch the games. It is like a day out, isn't it? It's like for me, like if I didn't have a family home in London, if I wanted to go and watch a Spurs game now, I'd have to find a place to stay or find a hotel. I'd have to get my flights. It would be like the transport to the from the stadium and all the transport costs, then your food costs. You're talking like £300-400 just for the game. And what, you're going to go and watch, pay £300 or £400 to go and watch us lose 3-0 to Nottingham Forest? Have a laugh.
There's a guy in the chat moaning about the price of a hot dog at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, saying it's happening everywhere. Here's an idea. Don't spend money in the stadium. Go to the local chippy. Go to the local chicken shop. Go to the local... Don't buy in the stadium.
The hot dog place outside the stadium. The vans.
Yeah.
You still have the vans.
You know what?
There's many vans around White Lane, and there's Chick King across the road.
When people moan about the price of food and drink in the stadium, your response has got to be, "Don't buy anything in the stadium, then." What are we doing? Like, what is complicated about this? Oh, it costs £8 for a beer in a stadium. Don't buy a beer in the stadium.
It's very complicated still. Come on.
It's the same as the shirts. Don't buy the shirts in the stadium. Just go to OK Jersey. It's a lot cheaper.
Exactly. Still, what's your code, mate?
The jersey costs 150 quid. Don't buy the jersey.
You like me and get them for about 20
You don't
quid
need
in China.
it. It doesn't change your life.
I ordered mine from China. The last one cost me £18 delivered.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same thing. They're pretty much the same.
If you're desperate, like you must spend stuff in the club shop, go and get a plain white T-shirt with a blue cockerel. It's about £25. £20. If you go online, I think it's cheaper. You might have to pay delivery costs. I still think it's cheaper. Do that. You know. Oh, the burgers are 20 quid, the beers are 10, the shirt's 150. You're choosing to spend it. You're choosing to spend it.
Absolutely.
When I came out of the Forest game last weekend, they had security on the door into the club shop. They was queuing as far as you could see. This was after the game, right? And rather craftily, as Ellie told us the other day, I didn't know this at the time, but they dropped the shirts. This season's current shirts are 34 quid.
You know what that is? Something. Do you know what that is? Because a new one comes out in the summer. 3 new ones come out in the summer. So there's only about 4 months left of wearing that shirt. Or no.
Has anyone?
Well, there's 2 months left till the end of the season.
Some sweatshop's going to be busy in it when they take the Premier League badge off to sew the Championship. Christ almighty, they'll be on overtime.
So are we all of the sort of opinion now that it seems like the only thing that's going to work is delegation? Is everyone's not on board with it, but does it sort of give us a chance later on, Danny, if that's the right way to put it?
I don't know. I think it gives us a chance for it depends to see whether because we haven't been in a situation like this. I think where Stell's coming from is it'll be interesting to see what how they will react being in a situation like this because we haven't seen it, right? And the way Stel's thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, Stel, the way you're thinking about it is that because we haven't been in that situation, something like this will force them to do something they haven't done before in terms of the way they make the decisions,
Yeah, do
run
you know
the
what it's
football
called?
club.
Danny, do you know what that's called? I said it earlier. You weren't here. Do you know what that's called?
What?
It's called the painful rebuild. What Poch told us. That is,
Yeah.
that is your painful rebuild because they're going to have to rebuild it. Players are going to leave.
But the problem
managers
is,
aren't
Stel,
going to want to come. It's going to be a very, very painful rebuild. But that's what's
the
needed.
problem is that with that is that I don't believe they're going to do enough to get us into the positions we need to be in or want to be in, even challenging in the mid-table of the Premier League. I don't think they've got any idea what they're doing. That's my biggest problem. That's my fear with it all.
They hired some decent football directors. They've hired good managers. They have signed good players over the last 5-10 years. The problem is they've sacked good managers. They've let good players go. They haven't signed enough good players, and they haven't held on to football directors. They will be forced to stick with it because they won't be able to afford to keep sacking Danny and changing plan. And they're going to have to go through pain. And when it gets really painful, they're going to have to stick with it. Do you know why? They can't afford to get out of it. It's all right paying Frank 10 million, Conte 20 million, Mourinho 30 million, and it's all right doing that when you've got Premier League money. When you're in the Championship, you ain't doing that. They're going to have to stick with a plan. And that's the painful bit. They're going to have to go through it. It'll be forced on them. They're not going to be able to go and waste 40 million on Tell, 30 million on Oda, but they're going to have to say, right, Mikey Moore, Donnelly, Williams Barnett, we've got to develop you. We've got to give you a chance. They're going to be forced into this shit. In the Premier League, the academy kids ain't going to come through. We'll go through another 2 managers in the next 2 years. They'll waste more money on average players and sign one good one. We'll lose more good players. Whatever good players we think we've got, they're going to want to leave. That's just going to keep happening. If we go down, it will be the painful rebuild that should have happened in the Premier League, but they won't do it in the Premier League. They simply aren't prepared to do it in the Premier League.
I get you, Stel. And, for me, the only thing that would make me not excited, but to see something different in the Championship, right? Not obviously we don't know what's going to happen with us, but is a hope maybe that we might actually start seeing some of the youngsters who've never really been given game time to actually be bedded into the first team and develop and see what they've got, because we're going to have to.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Youngsters ain't going to get you promoted.
I know they're not. But they're going to have. They're going to have to. They're gonna have to mix it with some youngsters and some
Joey.
I don't know.
You're right. 11 youngsters won't, but our youngsters, they go on loan to clubs in the Championship. They go on loan to clubs in Scotland.
Yeah, and they do.
And they do well, right? It will be the perfect environment for them. It'll be and players like Archie Gray will be superstars in the Championship. Absolute ballers in the Championship. So we're not going into a division with shit youngsters. We're going with Premier League youngsters.
If they want to stay.
There'll be a period of adapting to the physicality of the Championship. The physicality of the Premiership isn't that far off.
No, it's not. But also that's the problem as well, Stel, because our players are not physical enough. So we're gonna have to buy a lot of players because a lot of them are gonna be sold. So
we're gonna
have to scout.
Players.
Yeah, no, but we're gonna have to scout Stel from some of the better clubs in the Championship and try and get some of their better players because we can afford to.
Yeah, but again, this is my point. They're going to be forced to have to scout better. Like at the moment, this is what happens at Spurs. Right, we need a left winger. Okay. No, in fact, fuck that. We need a midfielder. Okay. Because we didn't buy a left winger. We need a midfielder. Okay. Data analytics team. Who should we buy? Well, we've gone through our data model and we've narrowed it down to 5 players. Okay, scouts, go look at these 5 players. The scouts go and look at those 5 players because the data says those 5, right? And then we fuck around with the transfers. We mess around. We delay. Okay, we can't get Eze. Okay, we can't get Gibbs White. And then we get down to the last two. All right, let's try and get what's his face? The Dutch guy we've got in the 10 who's always on the bench.
Xavi
What's his
Simmons.
name? Right, we go sign Xavi Simmons. In the Championship, before they spend the money on Xavi Simmons, they're going to go over and over and over all the data, all the scouting. They're going to go through it like a fine comb because they know we can't get this shit wrong. Because we can't just spend this money on a player. And it
No, go on, sir.
because Danny, they won't be able to then go and buy another player or another player or another player until they get it right. You can't do that in Championship. We won't have the revenue to do that stuff. We're going to have to get smart. And they've proven they can be smart. Paratici wasn't too bad. What's his name? Mitchell was very, very good. Kamoli was decent. He found Gareth Bale. So we can get good football directors. We just don't hold on to them because we don't listen to them. In the Championship, they're going to have to listen to the football director.
Who's that guy that
to keep chopping and changing? Lange, listen, mark my words. If we go down, Lange is gone. They're not fucking keeping Lange. If we stay up there, they'll keep him.
I don't know about that. So I think he's staying. I think him and Vinay are both staying.
I think him and Vinay are absolutely fucked at this club if we go down. And I know it for a fact. Do you know why? Because when it came to keeping Frank, the board said, we're not listening to you, Vinay. We're not listening to you, Lange. We're in deep shit. We take over. If we go down, that's the ultimate shit. Vinay, Lange, Laters. We cannot listen to anything you say
if that's true, right? Let's say hypothetically, Lange and Vinay are sacked if we get relegated, right? Or what happens next? Because they're going to need a CEO. Who becomes the CEO of Spurs?
Kuva.
Well, it'll have to be Sava.
It'll be Stelios.
Nah,
Sava pull his hair out after the first 2 days.
What they're going to have to do is sit there, owners, academy director, and say, right, what the fuck do we do? And for the first time, they're going to have to think. They're going to really have to think. And the academy director or whoever else is there is going to say, we need a plan to get out of this and get back there. Right. Well, we need someone that gets football to do that plan. We can't do it. We can't. And then they're going to go and find that person. And then we'll find someone that can do it because they're going to actually put the focus and the effort on it. They found Poch. They found Conte. They found Mitchell. They found Paratici. They know how to find people that can do it. But they lost all those people because they didn't stick to the plan. They will be forced to stick to the plan this time because they can't afford to pay them all to leave. They can't afford to get it wrong. And this is the argument I've been making. Everyone thinks, oh, Stell's in fantasy land. He's fucking lost it. I'm not. I don't. It will be put on them.
Still,
but unfortunately, people think that if we say up, this will happen. It won't.
So who do you think will be Spurs' manager? Someone like Robbie Keane if we go down?
Whoever is someone that's going to deliver the plan and that they're going to stick with. And I've got no idea who that is. I've got no idea.
Yeah, I think it will be someone like a Robbie Keane.
I think it'll be Scott Parker.
Or him, or Scott Parker. Yeah.
Listen, I quite like the idea.
I'll take Parker.
The idea of us. See, it's got to be one of two things. You either go down the big boy route, the Jurgen Klopp style route. You've got to throw mega money at the manager to attract them because they're not going to come to a championship club. Or you've got to go down the Arsenal route where you take someone that's been a number two or with a little bit of football experience that you say, do you know what? Maybe if we back this guy who's got ex-club blood in them, who's played for us, maybe part of a winning team, because Arteta won the FA Cup with Arsenal, but someone that's been trained well. See, look, I'd go for Maresca. Someone like that. Who's trained under Pep, who knows how to get out the Championship, who won some trophies at Chelsea. Bring in a Maresca and say, right, you left Chelsea because you said this fucking board doesn't know what they're doing. Right.
Was it Ipswich he got promoted with?
Leicester,
Leicester,
well.
Leicester. No,
Leicester,
Leicester. That was
Leicester,
it. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was it.
I would bring in a Maresca and say, let's build a project with you. Here's some good youngsters from the academy. Here's some good players that can play at championship level. Let's bring in some players with experience. And then when we go up, we keep building the plan with you. And if they don't stick with the plan, if we go up, we'll get relegated again. And they're not going to want that. They're not going to want to get burnt like that again. So I'm not saying Maresca, but that's the kind of manager we should look at if we go down.
It's a good option, isn't it? I mean, like you say, at least he's been there and done it before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And this leads
And
on.
he's won trophies, mate. And he's managing the Premier League, and he's qualified for Champions League, and he's won trophies. He's a
good shout. Yeah.
The
problem is, Will Maresca. Now he's sorry. Go on.
He doesn't work with youngsters as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think my only issue with Maresca is that will he want to go back to the Championship after managing a team like Chelsea?
What other big clubs are going in
at
for
the
him?
end of the day?
Yeah.
What other big clubs are going in for him?
Yeah, that's the point.
Listen, guys, it could be someone else. It doesn't have to. I'm just giving you one example.
Good
I'm
point,
sure
good
there's
point,
other
yeah,
managers.
good
No, I never thought of Maresca. It's a good shout. What about you, Stel? Come on, get your coaching badge out again,
mate. I got offered a job at Spurs in the academy long time ago, and I got offered a job at the FA. I got offered a job at the FA, and I declined both. One, because the FA was becoming this woke organisation of just fucking virtue signalers, and I thought I'm not going to last 1 minute here. I'm going to get sacked here, aren't I? And as for Spurs, I didn't like the fact that they didn't have a structure in the academy that was fluent into the first team. And that for me wasn't. But now they do have it. But
didn't Flower say that as well?
Well, yeah, but now they've got it with Simon Davies as academy director. All the age groups play a similar football. But the problem now is the first team don't. The first team don't. So we fixed the academy and we fucked the first team. The whole point of fixing the academy was so that the first team would have the same type of manager, the same type of football, and they've screwed that up. So it's like you fix one problem, you create another.
Yeah.
This is Enoch. This is why they've got to go. Anyway, guys, I'm taking over the show here. Let someone else talk because when I get going, I go.
It's the point of it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you, Sheriff?
Big up Bobby K. I've just
there you
seen
go.
him in the chat.
Big up, Bobby.
Big up,
Hope you're
Bobby.
well, mate.
Long
Long
time.
time.
Big up,
Mate.
Mr. Kang.
There he
Legend.
is. He's
I've
there.
been concentrating on the comments, mate. I sort of zoned out of what was the subject?
Is that a polite way of saying I didn't fucking listen to what you said?
No. I just been reading the comments. No.
Yeah, F off, still.
Cheers, Sheriff. Nice one, Sheriff.
So, Joey, what do you think? Moving on.
Stel, do you fancy coming on the show tonight? Here's the link. I won't listen to you, but please come on.
No, I didn't mean like that. I've just been
I was
like
listening.
doing the comments.
Moving
I
on.
remember. I'm tired. I've been at work.
Love it.
Moving on, by the way. Moving on.
Ask another question, Mark, and I'll answer it.
No. Well, you can answer this one first, Mark, and then we'll move on to professional.
Then I'll concentrate on the comments and ignore what everyone else is saying.
No, I was gonna say, moving on from that conversation, knowing where we are now and with Enoch and the possibility of going down. My next question is, so if you want to go individually or whatever you think, who stays and who goes if relegated? Now, take into consideration the conversation we've been having, right? And remember, there are a lot of players from Spurs out on loan, like Stell says, one up in Scotland or a couple up in Scotland, and plenty of floating around in the Championship, League One and League Two before you answer the question.
Mhm.
So bear in mind, wages have got to go down, right, from an estimated £264 million a year to 100 million or under. And at the moment, the team with the highest wage performance in the Championship is Leicester City on just
And
short
they're
of
only-
50 million.
Yeah, 47 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
we'll
that.
probably all pick similar players. I think we're all probably of the same mind on who will go.
Yeah, I'll answer this first so I can concentrate on putting the comments up. I think the top ones will go. Romero will go, Van Ven will be sold. They'll just be sold to get the money in. Porro. I think we will rely on the likes of who's the one at Rangers?
Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore, he'll be back. The youngsters, would they sell Archie Gray? Because he's probably on.
No. He'll be the
No?
one player who'll be like their poster boy for Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and
It depends
Even
if
the
he
other-
wants to go, if he wants to force
Yeah.
the move. But
yeah,
I
it
just
depends because I bet a lot of them have got like a relegation clause in their contract.
I think most maybe I don't know about clause, but I know that we all know that they've got
sort of get out clause if we do get relegated.
They've all got
No,
bloody agents, haven't they, at the end of the
Yeah.
day? They've all got agents. You're not telling
Yeah.
me none of them are swimming around other clubs to get a
But
move.
the agents-
Archie Gray doesn't strike me as a guy who's gonna force his way out, because I think he
No.
genuinely cares. I think he's one of the few in that squad right now that genuinely care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be made up of a lot of the ones we got out on loan. Get that guy back to smashing up in Germany. But they'll probably
That's not guaranteed, I tell you that.
no. But they'll probably
That's
flog
not
him to
guaranteed.
get some more money in. But obviously, the purchases we make, if any, let's get that. I know we all know what Enoch are like. There'll be good Championship players. We'll go and raid. We'll probably raid teams like Burnley and that who are getting relegated and get their best players.
Like we
'cause
did
that's
with
the sort of
Odegaard.
thing we do. Because that's the sort of thing we do.
Yeah.
We certainly won't be bringing in no superstars, or it'll just be a lot of the low knees coming back, and maybe some what Enoch think is adequate to get us back in the Premier League. But I'm not going to push the boat out and smash it. So we win the Championship by miles, come up with 100 and whatever points. Knowing Enoch, they'll want us to come up through the playoffs. And so to get the extra game at Wembley. we all know what they're like. It'll be bank
You know
holiday.
what? You're actually right there.
It'll be Whitsun bank holiday Monday whenever that game's on. And so they get all the money.
So basically, what you're saying is, Mark,
We'll finish
do-
third.
they'll do just enough in the transfer market, like they've done in the Premier League, to kind of get to that kind of echelons of top six. Right, we'll get to the playoff final, and then we'll fail.
Yeah, because that game's always advertised, isn't it? It's the biggest money game in football.
No, it is. It's a £160 million game. It's insane.
Yeah, Enoch could be all over that. Extra
Right,
revenue from Wembley as well.
Oh, don't. Yeah, you're right.
We're-
You're actually right. Yeah,
if we do get relegated this season, we'll finish in between third and sixth in the Championship. And so we get into the playoffs, and then we'll win the playoff final.
Do you know what'd be funny? We'll probably have banter as well from fans in the
Oh,
Premier
yeah.
League, even
Of course
still,
we will.
because we
Yeah.
can't even win the Championship. That's what the banter will be.
Well, in 1977, we only just sneaked back up to the first division. And we didn't even win that. We didn't even win it. We finished second. We finished second in 1977 and come back up to the first division.
Oh, lovely.
Anyway, so I've just written down a few names here that people might have forgotten about a little bit that I will pretty much guarantee you will be in Spurs squad next year. Ashley Phillips at Stoke.
Yeah.
Right? He's at Stoke. I've been to watch him play 3-4 times at Stoke this year. Do you know what? He's like, I don't know what defense. He's like some sort of prime. He waltzes about. Yeah, he's instructing. He's talking. He's got communication with the players in front of him, the players beside him. I'm not making him out to be the greatest player in the world, by the way, but he will suit a Tottenham team in the Championship. Right? I've got no doubt about that whatsoever. Right? Mikey Moore, we all know about. He's been up in Scotland getting the shit kicked out of him like everyone does up there. Right? He's going to come down, maybe a bit tougher. Yeah, he will love it in the Championship. I would imagine anyway. You know, after the thanks, Mia, thank you. After the acclimatization or whatever you want to call it. You know, who else have I got written down here? I think Aloisi, you got to keep him at the club. Youngsters like him. I think people like Alfie Devine will get a rebirth into a Tottenham squad. Yeah, that's without all the other youngsters. And I'll tell you what, there is one player that I would keep that I think it's realistic to keep because I don't think his wages are that high. And I think he would be perfect for the Championship. And that's Kevin Danzo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, he ain't that great. Don't get me wrong, but the Championship's quite a physical league. Or
it's a rough and tumble league.
Right? And he don't mind a bit of that. He don't mind a bit of it. Do you know what I mean? So if I want a defender that defends, you know, I'd have a Kevin Danzo. I would, because there's a lot worse out there than him.
He's what I consider an old school defender.
Yeah.
Get stuck in there.
That's just we're of that ilk, you see. Still, we don't care if they can play football anymore. We just want them to get stuck in.
Just get stuck in. He reminds me a little bit of Graham Roberts.
Face,
He reminds me a little bit of Graham Roberts. Like, just get stuck in there.
I wouldn't go that far.
No. He's obviously not as good as Graham Roberts, but you know that sort of attitude. Get stuck in there.
Yeah.
Let's go kick someone.
I think that's what you'll need in the Championship. Any other names from anyone else that will light the Championship up for Tottenham next season? What does anyone think about Vuskovic?
Who's that?
Austin in goal, mate. Austin in goal.
I'll take Austin in goal. I actually think Austin will be a good keeper in the Championship. I really do. Still, you're on mute, mate.
Schoolboy era. I like Austin, but Gunter's a very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think they'll be our keepers next year. Them two, Austin and Gunter.
I hope so. Listen,
isn't Gunter a youngster? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's a youngster.
Yeah. Do you know? That's the only reason as well. Still, I'm genuinely. If we go down, I still think we're going to stay up. But if we go down, I'm actually interested to see what some of these players are actually like playing men's football. And finally, we get to see some of these. We're going to see some of these youngsters and see what we can do, because there are some decent players still in that squad, who I think if they're to stay, and you bring in a couple of Championship level players who are like know the league really well, fighters. Like look what Villa bought. Villa bought John McGinn in the Championship when they were in the Championship, right? Look at what he's gone and done for them. He's grown with the club.
The thing is, Danny, we need to go through this painful rebuild, right? You see Arsenal, they went through it and they finished 8th 2 years in a row. No Europe 2 years in a row. They went through that. They went through that pain. Yeah. The problem with us is we're not prepared to go through it, because if we finish 8th, 9th, 10th, managers out, project scrapped, next cycle, right? We need to go through 2 years of pain where we're going to finish mid-table, maybe even 16th, 15th. It might happen, right? The problem is we aren't prepared as a fan base to go through it. And the board haven't got the bollocks to go through it and ignore what the fans say. Okay? So if we get relegated, do you know what? They have to go through it. It's like what the fans are going to do? Sack the manager in the Championship? The board are going to say, they're not. They're going to be like, we're in this shit already. It can't get worse. So I feel in some ways being in the Championship gives us the freedom it gives us the pressures off of the painful rebuild. We can actually go through it now. Whereas if we're in the Premiership trying to do it, we finish 8th, or we don't get Europe, or we finish 14th. Get him out. Manager's shit. Fucking hell. This player's shit. That player's shit. Coach is crap. ENIC out. We're never gonna go through that pain barrier in the Premier League because we just haven't got it in us to go through it. We at some point we're just gonna turn on the manager again or turn on the team. So in the Championship, I don't think we're gonna be like that. Because what we worried about finishing 14th, we've been relegated. What do you mean you're worried about 8th? We're in the Championship, it's fine. It almost gives us it's almost like the comfort zone to go through the pain. That makes sense, guys. You kind of see what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's basically it's that reset. It's that reset. It's the whole reset. It's like pressing the reset button on Spurs.
But we can do that in the Premier League, whilst being in the Premier League, Danny. But the problem is when the painful bit comes, the manager gets.
Oh
sacked.
no, we can't do it in the Premier League. Still, we can't. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. We can't. Our fans, this fan base. Look, I said it as well, and I know people hate it, and I know I don't want to keep going back to it, but I still believe, and I think a lot of people have been saying it in the last few days. If Frank was still here, we would have had a few more points than we have right now. Again, it's the fact the fan base are too reactionary still. They don't want to wait and see what happens.
No. See, I disagree with you. I'll tell you why I disagree. Sacking Frank for me wasn't wrong. He had to go. I never wanted him in the freaking first place. You know, right?
Yeah, neither did I. But he didn't have to go.
The problem wasn't sacking Frank. It was bringing in fucking Tudor, and the fan base. A lot of the fans jumped on it. Look at his record at Bologna. Look at his record at Juve. Look at.
This is the exact problem I'm talking about, still. Which is why I said.
Fans looked at his record in relegation battles and completely ignored he's got no Premier League experience.
I was speaking to
and they
Ben
were
and
more
Sip.
focused on that.
Go on.
Sacking Danny, sacking Frank wasn't the issue. Hiring Tudor was the issue. Now, if you said to me now, Stel, you're going to hire Tudor if we sack Frank, the same day we sacked Frank, if you said to me we're going to bring Tudor, Danny, I would have been on this show with you saying, no, keep Frank. If that's what you're going to do, just like now, there are some fans who said, if you told me sacking Ange meant Frank, I would have said stick with Ange then. If you're gonna bring in Frank, the same applies now. If you're gonna sack Tudor, if you're gonna sack Frank for Tudor, I would have said with you, stick with Frank because I never wanted Tudor. I never wanted Frank.
Yeah, but this is the risk that you take, which is why I exactly said still that if Frank is sacked, right, that I do not trust this club to make the right decision, and clearly that is the case, right? Because in every statistical basis you can possibly, every metric possible, Tudor in the last 5 games.
Danny, if we put in Redknapp, I would have said, brilliant. Thank God Frank's gone. I would have been all right with
that. Of course, Stel, of course. But I didn't trust this club to do the thing that we all want them to do, which is the right thing. That's my whole point. I never trust.
You can't trust them to do it in the Championship then.
Which is exactly my other point, which is why in the Championship, I'm going on hope. I'm not going on the fact that I believe they're going to be doing the right thing, because I believe they won't do the right thing, which is the exact reason I don't want us to be in the Championship.
Guys, in the Championship, it's different. Because when they're sitting here talking about this, we went for a 30-point checklist of all these managers and we came up with Frank. Our model said Frank. All that's going to stop. All that nonsense is going to stop. Because what they're going to have to do is, we're not going to go through no model. We're not going to go through this checklist. We're going to draw up a plan, because without a plan, we're finished. We are finished. They're going to actually have to draw up a plan. And when they draw up that plan, then they can pick the manager. But there was no plan with Frank. We know there was no plan with Frank, because if there was a plan, they would have stuck with him. They would have stuck with the manager if there was a plan, but there wasn't. They wouldn't have had such a diabolical transfer window in January if there was a plan. Everyone said they've had 2 months to identify the players, 2 months to get this transfer window right, because for 2 months they know what the injury crisis is like. The transfer window comes. It's an absolute disgrace, which says what? There was no plan in that window. There was no plan going into that window. And then after the window, Lange comes out and says, yeah, well, we couldn't find anyone better to come and bring into the club. Are you kidding me? That means you had no plan. So
You got no plan.
they will have to have a plan in the Championship. Because if they don't, we're never seeing the Premier League again. We will never see the Premier League again.
Right, quick super chat. Big up, Craig. Thank you, mate. Any Championship player from 5th to 8th we'll buy. Oh, definitely. If it's one of their better players, we'll be all over it.
Yeah, we're not going to get we're not going to get the best player in the Championship. We'll go and get the 5th or 6th best option.
No. What?
It's the same way we've done it in the Premier League.
Well,
Go
yeah.
get the 5th or 6th best option, not our first option.
Yeah. But teams like, well, it looks like Burnley and Wolves are down. So unless a big, the Premier League teams coming for them, we'll just have their offcasts. Because you know what Enoch are like. They just do enough to keep us relevant. And that is it. Sort of, until this year when they're finally going to get it. It looks like they're going to get a comeuppance and we're going to get relegated. But big up, Craig. Thank you for that, mate. But it's the same with Tottenham every time. And we don't, if we're in a position of strength, we don't strengthen. But even now we're sort of weak, they don't do anything anyway. So I've always said Enoch have always just about kept us relevant. And that is it. Even when Potts was here and we had a chance to win the league, or they're just worried about the top 4 money. And that was it. No interest in winning anything. No interest whatsoever. And it's always been the way, which is why they've got to go. They've got to go. They're not interested in football. They're interested in money. And that is it. They're not interested.
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, on that bombshell, which I agree with, I need to go, fella. I need to wish
All right,
you
mate.
a good evening. Yeah.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Dad, for coming on.
Joey, nice to meet you.
You too, still. Take care.
Look after yourself. Say bye to the other Mark and Danny.
Yeah.
You absolute fraud. Big up to the chat. Look after yourselves. Enjoy your next bus parade, and let's see if we get a better result off the back of that one. Anyway, have a good evening. Have a great weekend,
Cheers.
everyone. Whatever you're doing, just enjoy it. See you later.
Yeah, big up, Stel. Oh, he's back.
See you later,
Thanks,
Sharon.
Stel. Thanks, Stel. Be in
Thanks,
touch,
Cookie.
mate.
All right. Have
Thanks,
a good one.
mate. And you, mate. Thank you, Stel. There you go. Stel's off.
And then there was 4.
And then there was 4. What can you say? So, chaps, I'll ask the same questions as I asked the other night. Where do we go from here?
Down.
One word answer from Joe. Down. Danny?
I think we'll stay up. I've been maintaining that. I've maintained that for months.
On what basis?
On the basis that Tottenham do the unpredictable. And they always do.
This season wasn't unpredictable given last season, was it?
I don't think anyone thought we'd be this bad this season. Let's be honest. No one did. I didn't think we'd be this bad. I thought we'd finish 10th. Even with the injury issues we had. We're still good enough to finish a bit higher up than where we are now.
I
Like,
just
let's be
don't
honest.
see us winning games. There's nothing on that pitch that tells me we're going to get 8
I
points.
agree. You
let
say
alone
that,
the
right?
9 points.
You say that, but this is exactly the thing about Tottenham Hotspur. When everything is against you, when everything and everyone expects you to keep losing, on a random occasion, these players will decide to turn up for a game and it will make a difference for one game. That's what this team have done for the last few years. When you least expect it, they'll do something stupid and you're like, how have they gone and done that? And then then everyone will be more angry the fact that they've gone and done a really stupid, weird result that they shouldn't have got. And then I'm not saying whether that's a win, I'm saying whether that's a draw or whatever it is, but the fact that they've gone and done something that everyone expected the complete opposite. This is what this team does. And I've said this for the last 2 years and 3 years under this under this current squad that we have with Ange and with Frank is that this team is going to win games. This team's going to lose games. This team's going to draw games, right? Yes, we've lost a lot more than we've drawn and won late this season, right? But I still think with the players coming back, those players are going to help. They're going to help. And I think there's going to be a weird result in there that no one's going to expect. I don't know where it's coming from. Don't ask me what game it is. Don't ask me if it's Leeds, Chelsea, whoever. I don't know. But one of those games, one of those games. Go on, Mark.
It's going to be we beat Chelsea at the Bridge.
Could you imagine? That'd be the funniest thing ever.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be the funniest thing ever. This club going to Stamford Bridge and beating Chelsea. I mean, look, it's not beyond the realms of the way they're playing at the moment. They're playing like absolute rubbish.
Yeah,
But they're basically Tottenham, but the other end of the table.
Yeah. But to be honest, their fans are celebrating this big party when they relegate us and we go and win.
It would be
all
funny.
their fans are well up for relegation.
And I'll tell you one thing. Where the result is going to come, it's going to come away from home. It ain't coming at home. So that's going to be. Is it Leeds? We got home or away?
Leeds at home.
It's going to be Villa. I think Leeds is the only home game where we can pick up something, right? It's going to be Leeds where I think we pick up something, and it's going to be Villa or Chelsea. I can't even remember the other games who we've got.
Sunderland would be a shock because they don't lose many games at home and they don't concede many goals.
Is it one all season?
I think it's 2 or 3. But
is it? All right.
The other thing with them, they don't concede a lot of goals at home. I think it's 14, 15 goals they've conceded all season at home.
We do that in 2 games.
So if we went there and got a result, the way I see this season panning out, that would be a shock result for me, us going there and winning.
Yeah, so we've got Brighton at home, Sunderland away, Wolves away, Villa away. Villa away is another one for me.
Yeah.
Well, I see something weird happening.
And Wolves away. Wolves have been on a run now.
Yeah, they are.
They have been. Dead and buried.
Like these are games where you pick up a point here or there and it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yep, it does.
But I think like the only other way as well, unfortunately, it's not just picking up a point here or there because I don't know where I see us winning a game, but I reckon we need 4 points, right, in the last 7 games, however that comes, right? And on top of that, West Ham have to match what we do.
Yeah.
Because if they don't match what we do and West Ham go and win two games, it's going to be very difficult for us.
Very. I think if we drop it to that bottom 3, mate, I know we can, because we play. Do we play late? Is our game on the Sunday? Yeah. We could be in the bottom 3 by the time we play.
I don't think the players have got to fight for it. There's not one person in there. Archie Gray maybe, but he's not going to do it on his own. Romero's given up, in my opinion.
Romero's a disgrace. He's the worst captain in the last 50 years.
Yeah, and for me as well. If we had, instead of just wearing a white home shirt, if we had blue stripes on it as well, he'd be unbelievable. Well, he would be. He's always fit for Argentina, isn't he?
Yeah,
There's always some mysterious way he misses the game before the international break.
It's true.
Normally suspended, or he'll get a needless booking, so it gives him the 5 for a 1-game ban. And conveniently, it's right before the international break.
Did anyone just change tack slightly? Did anyone see the Danny Murphy interview on TalkSport today?
No, I haven't.
I have, yeah.
It was either today or yesterday.
Yes, I watched it today. I think it was on yesterday.
Yeah, when he was basically talking about, look, this Spurs team needs to be pragmatic now. Now is when you want it to be pragmatic. Now is when you want it to be conceding 0 in every or most games. The goals will find themselves. Just don't concede.
But this is why I kept saying, like, I think if Frank was here, right, we would have got more goals from corners because since he's gone, we've stopped scoring from corners. We were scoring, at least we were scoring goals from corners.
Why has
Now
Pedro
we're-
Porro stopped taking corners and
But
all
this
of
is
a
what- this
sudden
is-
Matisse Tellis?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Cookie. Like, we were actually one of the highest scorers in the league. It was us and Arsenal who were the highest scorers from set pieces. It's not. I don't think it's
That's
that
right,
anymore.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
since Frank's left, we haven't really. I think we scored maybe one corner, two corners. I don't know, one corner maybe in the last 7 games we played in all competitions.
Yeah.
So it's like at least we were somehow scoring from set pieces, because I kept saying that was the only way this team were going to score goals, because we don't have any goal scorers in this team, and it was the defenders who are mostly scoring from those corners. And Paulinho, he scored quite a few from corners this season.
See,
And
this is where I think
all the things that we're actually decent at, they've been taken out of the team, which is why I said sacking Frank was the wrong decision.
I think Tudor has gone too far, and I think he's tried to basically go, right, whatever you were doing before is wrong. Don't care whether it was set pieces, how you defended, who played where, whatever. And he's changed everything when he actually didn't need to change everything. He just needed to change some things.
Yeah.
Because
that's fair.
you're correct. Set pieces, we always look to threat from. Now, we're back to the good old days where the ball don't beat the first man or it goes 5 yards past the back post.
Yep.
Which is pathetic, really, when you think about it. And that we ain't even got a player who can put the ball in the box properly at the moment, or it don't seem like it. It's madness. But there you go. It is what it is. I think we're about ready to wrap up tonight. I know that before everyone dives off that I'm not available to do the breakfast brunch in the morning. I've got things I've got to do up the allotment before 9:30 in the morning. I'll probably be back on Sunday with a little rundown, and I don't know if Mark will be about. If he is,
Yeah, I'll be about, mate. I expect.
He'll jump on. So we'll do the brunch Sunday morning. Want to say a big thank you to everyone again who's made the show tonight, because the chat has been non-stop between the lot of you.
Yeah,
and
mate.
not make
Nowhere
it.
near the bottom, mate.
No, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because I haven't asked you all night. So hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure to get over to Stel as well, and everyone else that's got their own channel on here. Nige, anyone else? Kuva has got the Free Spurs boys, but with Bobby. But anyone who's got a channel, just subscribe to him. Big up to you, Danny, for being on. Big up to Stel and Joey. You've been on all night as well. Big up to both of you. We'll have a day off tomorrow, and then we'll be back for the brunch on Sunday morning. And then we'll see you all then. Thanks, everyone, for being in tonight. Before we go, just let me say a big thank you to Mark Taylor for the sticker and for the super chat. To Tim Mann as well. Thanks very much for your generosity. Really appreciate that. Mia, Tottenham's Lone Wolf, has become a member. Thank you to Mia. Really appreciate that. Craig as well with the super chat. Appreciate that. And Luca as well. Big up to you, Luca. He says, you both put in a good shift, guys, and the panel. Well played, guys. We appreciate that.
Well,
I'm sure
I must be further down the chat, mate.
Who's that?
It is. It's further. I didn't even get to that.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah. So I got it on there. That's why I clicked
That's
it on
right,
there.
mate.
Yeah.
Sorry we never read it out, mate. But big up. Thank you.
I just did. Big up to you, Luca. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Do you want a quick thing on the likes and subs?
Oh, you can if you want, mate. I'm not bothered.
Oh, all right.
I think it's just been a great show. I think it's been a great show. I love it when you lads come on here and talk Tottenham, because I just feel personally you put it a lot more eloquently than I do a lot of the time. So that's, you do a lot of my speaking for me, to be honest with you, because I agree with a lot of what everyone says.
Yeah.
A lot of what everyone says. But there you go. And before we go as well, just say thanks to Queen Ellie, because she's always putting the shows out there on all the different sites. Really appreciate you for that, Ellie, as well. We'll wrap it up tonight. Is there anything else, Mark, before?
No.
You're happy?
No. Just
we'll
big
see
up,
you
everyone.
Sunday morning for the brunch, 9:30. Big up to everyone in the chat and who's been on the panel tonight. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you
Come on.
Spurs.
Show. Yeah.